disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Welcome everybody to the BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. As a good friend, Mr. BDA, now sure I'm glad. That's right, sure I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we've got a fantastic one for you, as we're going to be talking about the fights that took place last night, as well as a little bit of general drama occurring, a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, a lot of rigmaroles that we got to get through. But before we do so, don't forget, if you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. You can also do it via the Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description below. Also, you can join the Patreon for free, or you can donate as much or as little as you want there. And finally, you can join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. But the most important thing, you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel. All right, fellas? Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Padokua, Langsbury. Who else we got here? Rapax Trucking Company, 10-4, Fluke Duke. We got Mars, Jin Ryu. We got Jin Ryu says, BDA, please trash on Pacheco. We're going to get to that. Shout out to Bulbous, Snackford. Who else we got? Hold on a second. I got to pause the music here because it's going to restart. When he got dropped in, he's out to Gonzalo, Chitlin Distributor, King Bucho, keeping an eye on things there. More BDC, Team Batman Boxing, Ralph Unreal, Sam Rando, Handsome Mechanic, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right, we got a lot to talk about here. We had a lot of fights yesterday. Before we get down to that, let's read a super chat here from... we need to lower the music on that one, man. I don't know why it's sounding so distorted. Shout out to Skull Kid 54 for his contribution with the super chat. Didn't leave a message, but shout out to him. Really appreciate it. And, happy future holidays. Okay, we're getting a little bit of ahead of schedule here. Why not? All right, let's talk about the first fight on the docket. Yesterday from Stockton, California, home of the famous or infamous Diaz brothers. And I'm not talking about the fighters, by the way. No Ciribano. I'm talking about the Diaz brothers from the underworld. Those guys are no joke. Let me tell you, I had my run-ins with them a couple of times. So we had Diego Pacheco surviving an 8-round knockdown against fellow undefeated Kevin Lele Saggio, who was 25-0. I believe he was coming in with 23 knockouts. And as we talked about earlier in the week, this could have been a bigger disaster than what it ended up being. Pacheco did pull it off by scorecards of 116-111, 117-110, and 115-112. The last two, or the first two rather, some people could say, might have been a little bit too wide, considering what we saw. First of all, Pacheco, we were talking about it in the build-up to this fight. This dude didn't look good in 3 of his last 4 fights. I forget the guy's name. I'm gonna look it up here. But when he fought some dude, undefeated southpaw or whatever, Pacheco didn't look good. He was too tentative, and it was a boxing match. And okay, and then against Steven Nelson, okay, I understand Steven Nelson can crack. You went out boxing, fine. But then with Macumbi, or as Food TV calls him, the cum, he was way too. He played it safe. He was too hesitant. And so now you're going into this fight and you're thinking, okay, now this guy's going to jump on him, sideways. He's not going to let him breathe. So that should give Pacheco a chance to look good. And wouldn't you know it, he didn't look good. So now he's fought boxers and he can't look good against them. And he fights come forward boxers and he doesn't look good against them either. It took him too long to start going to the body. He ended up getting dropped. And then after the fight, I think, somebody told me, I didn't hear this because I shut the post-fight interview right away. But I heard that supposedly he claimed that his grandmother died. And that's, he was started blaming that on the bad performance. And I'm thinking, look, I sympathize with him losing a loved one, a family member. I'm assuming he loved her. But, again, this is boxing. It's what's his name? Buster Douglas. His mother had recently passed away. He channeled that energy into pulling off one of the biggest upsets ever. So I don't understand this whole thing. I mean, it is what it is, but I would, I would actually accept that excuse or reason, but it's not the first time he's looked subpar. And finally, the clinching. My goodness gracious, we're going to talk about the clinching a little bit more, but I'm curious to hear what other people have to say. We got Vessel, we got Gons, we got Bucho. Fellas, what did you think of Diego Pacheco last night?
No, can I go first?
Yeah, go first.
I think I told you guys when we were doing the the preview show on this. I thought this guy was very lackluster in general, and he just continues proving that. I don't know what he does good. What does he do good?
That's a good question.
What is he good at? Actually, legit. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be.
I don't know. I guess
what is he good at?
They always talked about the power, but it's not like he's knocked out anybody lately. And by the way, you know what they called this event? They called it firepower. Firepower.
Wait, what?
Sure, somebody got dropped, but I think the guy who was supposed to be dropped was Lele, not Pacheco. So yeah, it's I don't know. But I mean, I guess they painted Pacheco some sort of monster with firepower.
That's so funny with Gabriel Flores in it too, like the guy who has anti-power.
Yeah. Yeah,
and what's his name? The other guy with 3 knockouts or some shit. Cordina has no knockouts.
I mean, if you look at go ahead,
Mercado was there. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think he's a good boxer. How old is he? 24 years old. He's a little bit on the green side. I think he's got good punch placement. The thing about him, I think Sobers has described him as patient. Well, he's green. He's green, so it would be a combination, of he kind of knows what he's doing, but when it comes to different styles, I mean, he doesn't know how to deal with the guy that pressures him. So I like you said, BDA, he's kind of hesitant and a little bit lazy, and doesn't necessarily let his hands go all the time. Kind of reminds me of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Right. He did start letting his hands go in the 11th round, and you kind of wonder how come he couldn't let his hands go like that earlier. He did take a few risks when Lele was coming forward. I mean, yeah, that dude's a buzzsaw. It's just like a drunken fighter in a bar. Yeah, kind of dangerous in the sense that even though he's wild Lele, he's got a heavy punch. But if you're Pacheco, 6'4", 24 years old, and are kind of green in the sense of you could have done more as far as taking a step back because he's got long legs to get that space in between to land, because he knows he has good punch placement, but he's not letting his hands go all the time, or either you're in or you're out, or you're letting your hands go or you're not. Yeah, because that becomes a dangerous situation to be when you can't quite decide what you're gonna do when you need to decide to do it. That's right. The thing with him. He could be described as patient, hesitant, or lazy. So, I mean, he is a good boxer, but he needs to figure that shit out. Because a lot of times, like his corner was telling him, you got to bring your hands up. And he just looks a little too, slow in there when it comes to, where the wheels are turning in his mind. What I need to do to sort this type of style out. And it's been like 3 or 4 fights where he's had these different looks. So he needs to work on that and figure that out. Will he be able to, or will he remain like that, like a Julio Cesar Chavez, and just get worse as time goes on? And at one point, you're gonna be like Julio Cesar Chavez is dead. You kind of have to let your hands go, but some fighters are not able to do that. They freeze inside the fight. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, you're saying he's gonna turn into Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You said because you forgot to say the junior in the first one. But yeah, but
He's gonna wear high heels.
Yeah, well, you can't pull
Well,
the
yeah.
trigger when you need to because you're waiting too long. Because we saw in the 11th round that when he did start letting his hands go, I'm like, oh man, why couldn't you do that earlier?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's an excellent point because look, again, the whole grandmother thing. This isn't the first time he's looked bad, lackluster, hesitant, refusing to let his hands go. Also, the other thing is he's not the fastest guy out there. So he's trying to outbox guys, and you can do that when you got timing, and he does have timing, but that's not what people went there to see him for. And again, once he started loading up on those body shots, I said, there you go. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But he started a little bit too late. That's the other thing, though. The trainer. Apparently, like we were talking about earlier in the week, he ended up going back to his old amateur trainer, which is fine. But it seemed like this guy was good at teaching him the fundamentals. But now it's time to really light a fire under his ass in the professional ranks. And that calm approach that his coach was putting forth just didn't seem to cut it. It's almost like he was ready. He was more eager to end the fight with Pacheco and then go smoke a spliff or something. That's the type of attitude and character I got, like Cheech and Chong or something. He needs a new trainer. Because this dude
with
just...
his trainer, I don't know if you know this, BDA, but that trainer's been the same with him for a long time. He was
hasn't.
with him with the Benavides.
Well, I mean, okay, but that's the thing. But well, then that's the same. That applies to the same thing. Then the guy is too hesitant. He's been hesitant under Jose Benavides. He was hesitant under this dude. Some people were saying he should go with Robert Garcia.
But maybe but I'm saying like, I'm trying to make the point. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's not his trainer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
true.
Pacheco.
That's true. Yeah.
Because like no matter where you take him, it seems like he doesn't do well.
I think the word he's just become complacent with who he is. And if you get stuck, believe that, this is my ceiling. I'm comfortable with the way I fight because I'm kind of good. I think this much of myself, but there's no room for like real growth. And you're just going to get stuck there. I would say he's complacent.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, again, if you look at the last guys he beat, or that he stopped, who ended up actually garnering him a lot of hype, it was Coceres, who has been stopped before. He's a good, solid guy. But he was already giving Pacheco trouble there. He was giving him a lot of trouble, and I understand Coceres gives a lot of guys trouble. I mean, remember, he's the one that dropped Berlanga and all that. But also, Billy Joe Saunders ended up stopping him a while back. And then the other guy he stopped, I think Bucho mentioned it, Zulensky. And what the fuck, Zulensky, well, I mean, he was shot-born by the time Pacheco got to him. So every time he stepped up against this opposition that actually has a pulse, he can't stop him. And the other thing that really... okay, bad performance, not letting his heads go, that's one thing. But the clinching, I mean, it was horrible. Now, if there is one positive aspect of him clinching, is that it's been a good month over here at the Boxing Debate Arena because first, we saw Crawford start going after the WBC, and he's finally woke a lot of people up about the dangers and the poison that is inherent in a lot of these sanctioning bodies, and people are finally getting with the program. And now, we're starting to see fighters that usually don't clinch start to clinch. We saw Isaac Cruz start doing it last Saturday, and then yesterday Pacheco's doing it. And I know, people are starting to say, hey, what about the clinching? What about the clinching? Exactly. That's what we've been asking for years now. And so it's been a good week. People are finally starting to catch up and realize that this is what ruins boxing. Because again, I would ask people the question, did all that clinching, and by the way, Sajo was clinching too, which was insane to me because he's the guy who's supposed to be on the inside, or he's the guy that's supposed to be working on the inside. So he works his way on the inside finally, and then he would grab one arm and start punching with the other. I mean, but Pacheco, it seemed like he still did a little bit more, or way more. I don't know. But they were both clinching, and it was disgusting. And I would ask people, hey, did this clinching make the fight exciting? Did you enjoy the clinching? Did you sit there and go, ooh, that's a sweet science, they're hugging? Oh, they're hugging. I don't know. Maybe some of these fighters now are starting to clinch because they saw the praise that Devin Haney got for jabbing and clinching his way to a decision. And especially the videos like, for example, Malik Scott, the video he made over Ring TV where he's saying very smart clinch, as if it's some sort of dominance thing where you clinch a guy and you show him.
Intelligent clinching.
Yeah, intelligent. Thank you. Yeah, so maybe that's what people are realizing. People now are realizing, a lot of these non-clinchers are starting to realize, hey, these guys are getting praise for that. Let's start clinching as well. And so now you're starting to see other types of people who normally don't root for these fighters start to complain about the clinching. Now they're starting to realize, oh yeah, clinching is horrible. Clinching ruins fights, and it ruins boxing. So we'll see if people keep the same energy. We'll see if they keep it consistent. But they won't. I don't know.
They won't.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they won't.
I think it's meta. It's just like a meta. It's like in a video game, when like things can become new and then everybody adapts to it. I think people are just adapting to it because everybody spars each other, right? So I think even like the non-clinchers are even like picking up like, oh, I can do this. Like they do it to me, so might as well try doing it to them.
Exactly. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, apparently. But the most
and
important thing,
they get away with it.
Yeah, they got away with it. And the most important thing is that people actually see it and get pissed off by it. Because that's the only way. Listen, if we tell them, obviously they're not listening. If we tell them clinching's bad, they make up all sorts of things in their heads. But now when they actually see it and there's an emotion attached to it, that's the way change happens. That's the way neurons start being rebuilt. That's what we do over here at the Boxing Debate Arena. We try to rebuild people's neurons. Not brainwash them.
It's a program.
Like Schofield's father.
It's a program. It's a rehabilitation.
It's BDA Ultra. We're going to patent that. BDA Ultra. We're going to get
BDA Ultra.
Yeah.
That sounds cool, actually.
BDA Ultra.
Yeah,
BDA Ultra.
We're going to talk to the Research and Development Department. We're going to get right to it. BDA Ultra. We're going to start brainwashing people. All right. What else? Okay, so he ended up winning. Anyone else got anything to say about Pacheco?
No, fuck him. Well, what's next? What do you guys want to see next?
Teeth. He's got huge teeth.
He does have big teeth.
Yeah,
well, what's next
big
is
ears,
apparently
and big ass fucking ears. Yeah.
What's next is that apparently there's a lot of people that want Pacheco. Apparently, who was it? I think it was the Sheik. He said he wants Pacheco and Shiraz. I think that's what, or maybe I'm misreading. But one thing I do know for sure, because I'm looking at it right here from Ring Magazine, it says that Eddie Hearn wants Munguia versus Pacheco, and he says that can fill a stadium. What do you guys think about that one?
Fill a stadium in Mexico or what?
In LA, he says. It's a good question.
Where?
LA. I don't know. What do you guys think? People who live in California.
In a small town, like a small Mexican town, he will fill up a stadium. Maybe take that shit to Fresno or like Sacramento or maybe somewhere in Texas. Yeah. I don't know about
people were booing yesterday. Yesterday, people were booing. I noticed that.
Yeah, I don't know about LA.
And that's good. That's good. I like that. Putting pressure. You gotta boo this type of shit. So, and these people are paying. So they have more
of a guy to pee in the can and throw it, right?
What's that?
You're the type of guy to pee in the can and throw it, or pee in your little cup and throw it.
I'm not gonna say yes or no. I'm on the internet.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, no. I mean, it was disgusting. So I don't know. Does he even have a fan base? Are people actually gonna show up and fill a stadium to watch this fight?
It didn't look like it didn't look all that filled up yesterday either, even by main event time. And then, like you said, the people that were there started booing. Maybe with Munguia, they could, you pair those two guys.
Yeah,
together.
Munguia.
Wait, I actually have like personal experience. I bought tickets for that. I didn't go because I'm still feeling sick, and I had to resell them. Right, and it took me forever to resell them, bro. It took me the whole day.
So you go.
And yeah, nobody wanted them.
In the chat, this SGT says Munguia is popular. Yes, he is. Pacheco, I don't know. I don't think so.
Wait, where's Munguia from? Tijuana, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's from Gonzalo's.
Yeah, we'll sell it there.
He's from Gonzalo's neck of the woods there, so Gonzalo probably could confirm.
Well, anyways, let's talk about Mercado. I'm interested in that.
Wait, hold on. We got to go in order here. Real quick then, Joe Cordina makes a comeback, 32 years old, or 33, I think he's 32, against Gabe Flores, and this was a crossroads fight. Cordina moves up in weight, and he pressured the hometown fighter, Gabe Flores Jr., to win a unanimous decision. There was one card of 114, 113 that really perplexed people, And then there was another card, 117, 110, and 115, 112. I thought that since Flores was landing shots and they were in his hometown, that there was a chance that he might get a draw or something. But I think the right guy got the decision because Cordina was just putting more pressure and landing that. People talk about clean, effective shots. And even though Flores was landing clean, he didn't really seem to be moving, Cordina too much. So there is that second part to consider when you start talking about scoring criteria. There were 2 times, I think, where it did seem like even Flores was surprised that he managed to stun Cordina a little bit, but then Cordina would just shake it off and keep on moving. So interesting there for Cordina, who revives his career. As for Flores, I don't know what's up with the guy. It seems he's got the speed, he's got the snap, but his punches just don't seem to have carry any power on them. So what do you guys think real quick about Cordina? People were talking about him versus Abdullah Mason. Would that be a good test for Mason or a little bit too much too soon? What do you guys think?
I think it's a good test. I think that's a great move actually for Mason.
Yeah, I mean, Mason was getting tagged last time. This guy is gonna do the same. I think he's better. He has more precision. He has heart,
but no power though, Bucho. That's a problem.
But no power. So it's a fight that Mason will take his manager.
Yeah, it's a smart fight.
It's a good
name, man. You get a bell out of it, right?
Yeah, it's a good name. I'm picking Mason, obviously, but it's a good step.
Mason, but it's gonna be competitive.
Yep, I agree. I want to see that fight. Great fight.
That's a good fight too.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst fight in the world. I'd be really interested to see what happens. But Cordina did manage to keep his career afloat, and it ended up being an entertaining fight for the most part. But again, a little bit too much clinching. And when I say a little bit too much, I'm being generous. There was just clinching overall. It's Flores would stop sometimes, and he would do the Andrew Ward, Devin Haney. He would stop, lunge in, and go for a clinch, or he would feint and then lunge for a clinch. And the referee never. I think he ended up warning Cordina at some point for using his palm to try to pry himself off. It was just disgusting. But again, this type of things need to start happening from non-regular clinchers so that people out there start waking up and realizing, now we realize why you guys are always against clinching. Because now when it's everybody doing it, not just a couple of select guys, when it's everybody doing it, then it becomes highly annoying. If we can I hope I'm not asking for too much here, but we've already got people waking up about the sanctioning bodies. We got people waking up about the clinching. Now, if we can just get them to wake up about people playing around with weights, the weight bullies, dipping below the waist, and not throwing shots, because that is against the rules too. Not trying is against the rules. So.
Yeah, but Gabe is what I was saying. He's that new age Mexican. He trains out of the Mayweather gym. I've seen some clips of him and his dad at the Mayweather gym, and that's his style. That's what he wants to be. He doesn't want to be a come forward, flat-footed Mexican.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if he wanted to fight Mexican style, the guy's got no pop. He's got no pep.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's a combination of that style. You can't really sit there and trade, because I think he would have had more success I think they were trying to tell him, walk him down a little bit, but he's just a back foot bitch. He can't break that habit.
That's right.
And the whole clinching, it kills your flow, your own momentum. You can't really build any rhythm off that.
Yeah, some guys haven't, some guys don't. I remember was it Juan Diaz? I was confused. It was Juan Diaz, the baby bull. He had a lot of snap on his shots, a lot of speed. But then he would hit these guys, and he wouldn't move them. And he could throw 1,000 shots per round. Per fight, and he wouldn't move these guys. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's slapping. I don't know if he's got weak tendons or something. I don't know. But Flores doesn't have it, man. But maybe that's why he was a good amateur.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's just hard to watch. This is to anybody boxing. If you don't have power, I don't think you should box. I really don't, because it was like Cordina was getting wiping bugs off his face. That dude was throwing 8-punch combinations, and none of them had any effect. I'm just like, this. It's hard to watch. It's cringe. It's like, bro, like, what are you thinking? If I spar, I hit somebody, I expect to hurt them.
Right.
How can you be a man and hit somebody square on the jaw and they don't move? You know those movies when there's a fight scene, you hit somebody and they just smile. It's like, oh shit.
Like in a dream when you have a dream fight.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you have to have at least have some kind of power to go far in boxing. In my
Amir
opinion,
Khan went pretty far though. Amir Khan went pretty far.
he had speed though. He had power. He would sit and take one to give one. He was no bitch.
Shakur's going pretty far so far. No power.
He's big as fuck though. Like he's
got that.
You know, you guys are
No, but
talking
I'm
about.
trying to make a point, Frank. You can have no power as long as you have other points.
I mean, if you have a promotion that's gonna push you, a manager, but they can only take you so far, though. Like they're really pushing Shakur to the max, and he's fighting. Like if Cepeda would have had more power, I mean, I know if don't exist, but why couldn't Cepeda hurt Shakur? Because in my opinion, Shakur is just fucking big. I mean, this guy started at featherweight, and now he's fighting Teofimo Lopez, and he looks like the same size, maybe a little bit bigger.
I'm talking about negative power. What Gabe Flores had is negative power.
Right, exactly. We're talking about,
Because if you Joe Cordina, he didn't have power, but he had enough snap on his punches that even that jab was rocking Gabe's head back. You have to have something to make someone respect you. Is basically the moral of the story.
Yeah, you need power. Now some people don't have power and they make it somewhat far, but at the end of the day, they get exposed. And
if you watch Haney and Norman, he had enough power that Norman had to worry about coming in. It's just he's a bitch and just jumps back. You know, did I mention? I think BDA when we were talking about Mercado, he does a lot of jumping back. That's what these guys do. They don't want to sit in the pocket even for 1 second. There's a bad habit a lot of fighters have of jumping straight back.
Well, that's the thing. Could you imagine how hard the guy would Mercado would actually punch if he actually came forward, set down his shots, and had a guard? But speaking of Mercado, he ended up stealing the show yesterday. He's the guy that put on the show when he ended up stopping Antonio Moran, dropped him 3 times, and scored a 6-round KO. I gotta tell you, it was interesting, even though sometimes I would like to see, like Frank said, see a guy stand more as opposed to try to, do the shoulder and all that. But he actually did a very good job of controlling Moran. He said after the fight that he knew Moran was trying to bait him into a type of fight with feints and all that. And Mercado said, no, I'm gonna control the pace. And he actually started doing a good job of going to the body later on. And this dude is quick. I think quicker than most people anticipated, which probably means they've never seen him fight before. I think they just remembered Pedraza making him move around the ring in the last fight, and they didn't really quite see too much speed until Mercado ended up taking him out. But in this one, he flashed his hand speed. He ended up hurting Moran a bunch of times, and Moran was coming off an upset on Pro Box. He'd actually defeated an undefeated guy, and so you never can take a guy like Moran seriously. You never can take him or count him out, because even though he's got a weird style, maybe not that much pop, the guy is well-conditioned, he's experienced, and he knows how to come back from getting hurt. But there was no coming back here, as Mercado proved too tenacious, too relentless, and just all around too good. What did you guys think of the performance, and where do you think Mercado goes from here?
Well, it kind of, building on that, is that Mercado gets away with a lot of things because he has power.
Mm-hmm. He throws that left hook in a weird, like the way he throws some of his shots. He overextends that left. I don't know. It's like a left hook, but it's not at the same time. But it has power. It's been working out for him. But I just wish he works on that technique a little bit.
He's naturally heavy-handed, that's for sure. Because like you guys said, there's spots in there where he's actually throwing punches in a weird way, and he's still managing to get those knockdowns and knockouts. And I think at this point, Moran, okay, he's not that old. Pedraza was shopborn. Also, what's his name? Mercado actually has a good win too against Joleni Ngoni. I think that's his name. It's a guy that's gone around. I think he went the distance against Devin Haney. The only guy who managed to stop him, believe it or not, was Barbosa, who isn't even really a big puncher, considered a big puncher yet. He ended up scoring a stoppage over Nongeni. I think that's his name. But so I keep saying Cordina. Talking about Mercado, he ended up getting that. He's got 3 good fights so far. But now I want to see him against a guy who's about his age and who can actually crack. Would you guys pick him against Delgado at this point?
Yeah, hell yeah. Easy.
I honestly, I would say 50-50.
I would say he stops
Just
Delgado.
because I don't,
Delgado's trash.
I just see too many flaws in Mercado. I just seen, his chin up in the air. I just think he throws awkward punches. He gets away. Trust me, he gets away with a lot of mistakes.
You know what? There's something to what you're saying. I agree. But just my instincts, and I'm not just basing this off of Delgado looking bad in his last fight, because he got a gift in his last fight. But I just think Mercado actually displayed good boxing not fundamental skills yesterday. The controlling the range, he made adjustments. He ended up breaking this guy down and did it in style too. He's only 24. So you have to presume that he's actually going to be improving. And so I think Delgado would be a prime target. I don't know if Top Rank would do it. Or maybe Top Rank is ready to cash out Delgado, knowing that this guy just doesn't have it. He's a low-level top 10 guy. And I think that would actually be a good fight for Mercado. So we'll see if they actually put him in there against him. Something tells me they probably won't, but unless they want to cash the guy out and say, yeah, let's do it. Now that's the other thing, though. I'm looking at the top 10 rankings here in the junior welterweight division, and another fight that I actually think would be good. There's the other prospect there from the UK, Aziz. What's his name? Adam Azim. Excuse me. The last guy he fought, I forget who he was. It was an Afro-Anglo. Forget his name. And that guy actually, he was short, but he had good speed and power. And Azim outboxed him. So I wouldn't mind seeing Mercado against that guy to see if he can do the same thing or actually even upstage Azim.
I got a better name, but I don't know if he'd be ready. Liam Paro. Because
hey, that's a good one,
these Delgado's he's already number one. He's mandatory. So I don't think they'd risk that. And Azim, you're not going to match Mercado and Azim just yet. That they're not going to get one of their guys beat. But a guy like Paro who can box has been a champion. I think that would be a perfect fight for Mercado because that guy can move, right? He beat the boogeyman Matias at one point.
That's a good point. Hey, that's a good fight, man. That's a good fight. The 140-pound division really is very interesting at this point. I don't know how Hitchens managed to get number one. What the hell did he do to get number one? He beat Lemos. He stopped Cambosos, who wasn't even a junior welterweight. I wonder why they have him so high up. Maybe it's because of the Paro win. Yeah, because Paro beat Matias. Okay. What's that?
Complexion, protection.
No. He beat Matias. But look at this division, junior welterweight, man. Hiraoka, who I don't know if they're going to match him back against Russell. Remember that fight was supposed to take place on the Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis undercard.
Fight, by the way,
what's that?
What happened? Why are they not making that fight?
As I was saying, these guys were gonna fight on the Jake Paul Gervonta Davis undercard, and it fell. Obviously that fight fell through, and I guess I don't know. Maybe Gervonta Davis, since he's no longer involved and he's a PBC darling, maybe the PBC refused to go along with it. I don't know, but this is a good division. Look at this: Hiraoka, Delgado, Adam Azim, Dalton Smith, who's going to be taking on Matias. Sandor Martin is still there. I thought he beat Puello when they fought. Gary Anton Russell right there in the middle. Barbosa still there. Puello still there. Matias is there. Richardson Hitchens. Okay, so who do you guys think who would you pick against Mercado in this list? Who's too much for him right now?
The perfect foil would be Sandor. That's literally the perfect foil for that guy.
Yeah, that's a little bit too tricky right now.
Oh, okay. You don't want to get him possibly.
No. What I'm saying, it's a good test, but it might be too soon. I don't think he's ever. Nongeni is the only guy that I know who comes close to being the trickiest guy Mercado has fought.
I think Barbosa is good.
Yeah, if I was Mercado's team, I wouldn't want that either. I mean, he's going to look best against somebody that's going to want to trade with them because he's also athletic. He's not Berlanga. Remember Berlanga, 17-0, 17 knockouts. This is kind of the trend that Mercado's on, but you do see something different with his athleticism.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess, listen, time will tell with Mercado. Like I've said before, I'm not a fan of trash talkers, but this guy, he brings it. He talks the talk and he walks the walk. Not a lot of fighters around his division do that. A lot of these fighters, like Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, they talk about handing out beatings and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and then they go in there and they do the food TV, patoink, patoink, and it's a boring fight. And then they jump on the turnbuckle and they start beating their chest like, yeah, I just beat this guy. It's like, what? What's going on here? But yeah, so those were the fights. There was also some women's fights, but I mean, who really cares about that at this point? I mean, I know Vessel wants to talk about him. I think he took notes and everything. But sorry, Vessel, we're gonna.
Yeah, dude, I made a PowerPoint. You told me to make this.
A PowerPoint.
He made a dossier. He compiled a dossier.
All right. Classical music.
Yeah, you said make sure that each time when you can see a little bit of titty, take a snapshot. And I have
exactly. Hey, that would be good actually. Also in the news, hold on a second. It's not here. Okay, in the news we had cruiserweight action.
Can I just say something real quick, BDA, before you go on?
Absolutely. Take your time. Take your time.
I think Abba Zaba should slice through Cordina. That's just my take. You guys were talking about. I think that should be a fight, less than a 5-round fight, if he's this generational talent they say he is.
Who's what? Abba Zaba should go through who or whom?
Should slice through Cordina. Should slice up Cordina pretty good.
Oh, you're talking about Mason.
He's gonna be 3. Yeah. You guys were talking about it. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Right. Well, you know what? It's I think he should, because Cordina isn't exactly in his prime.
Ben Abba Zaba's 3 times the size of his opponents, and he's gonna tower over that Cordina dude.
Well, we shall see, man. We shall see indeed. Also, yesterday, cruiserweight action from Los Angeles. Noel Mikaelian, one of Gypsy's people, from Armenia, had the rematch against Badu Jack, and he ended up winning by scores of 115, 111, 116, 110, and another one of 116, 110. It was an interesting fight. It was kind of competitive. I was falling asleep, not because the fight was bad, but because I think it was the Diego Pacheco Zajo fight really almost knocked me out. But yeah, so now Mikaelian says he wants Opetaya. Maybe Opetaya will fight him, because who else was going to want to fight him there at this point?
Opetaya wants him. They want each other.
There you go. By the way, let me just real quick. Bucho, you were talking about, and I'm going to share the screen here. You were telling me that legendary film director Francis Ford Coppola had actually gone broke or something like that because of that movie he directed, Megalopolis. Mm-hmm. And then I read an article stating that the guy allegedly is selling a bunch of his watches, high caliber, very expensive watches, because of the money he lost in that movie. Now, at that point, I was thinking, okay, these are rumors, hearsay, who really knows? I think this guy is really down bad, because when you have to work for the California Commission in these low-level fights, and I say low-level because it was a championship fight, but nobody really knows who these guys are. I see Francis Ford Coppola there. Check this out. I'm sharing the screen with you. Look at that. He was one of the guys there, one of the commissioners. Look at that.
He's working part-time.
I guess, man. I guess things are bad over there at Zoo. What was the name of his studio? Zootrope or something like that? He had a production company. Here's another picture so people know I'm not jiving here. Look at that. It's Francis Ford Coppola right there. Director of The Godfather 1, 2, The Conversation, Apocalypse Now. Come on. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, also, by the way, in that fight, it was a little bit of a sloppy fight. It's kind of how I like my women, sloppy. And that's the type of fight we had. There was some rabbit punching, clinching. Mikaelian was trying to shoe shine to the body, but he was going kind of low a little bit. I was actually afraid that we might get an Andrew Golada, Riddick Bowe type of situation. And then things really took a turn. I think it was in the middle of the fight. I forget exactly the round. I'm going to show you what ended up occurring. A near riot. Near riot. Check this out. Hold on a second. Can't play the music though.
Oh, what's going on?
Did you say you like a little tang on that thing, Mr. BDA?
No, I said I like it a little sloppy. I like my fights like I like my
whips. Yeah, little whiff when you pull it down, little whiff hit you.
God. Jeez, Luis, that's not what I said.
Chicks.
No, I don't. Hey, here's another clip. And I want to point something out. Speaking of Francis Ford Coppola, check this out. So they were punching each other after the bell. They actually, this is real. They panned to the crowd during this whole melee. All the drunks in the crowd. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm not saying
that's directing.
Exactly. Well, it's the producer. And look at this. See, that's Francis Ford Coppola in there. See how he actually ended up jumping. He jumped into the ring. The ref is trying to separate them. This dude tries to pull not this dude, the Francis Ford Coppola tries to pull the referee off, but he's actually trying to get at Badu Jack. Check this out. See, he's trying to pull the ref off Badu Jack, and then he jumps on Badu Jack, starts humping him. What the hell is that about? I think he already had it in for Badu Jack, actually. Look at that. See how he's going back.
So what happened here? Why is this happening? I don't understand.
It's because they kept punching after the bell. First Noel did it, and then Badu Jack did it, and then after this is they both did it. So they started fighting.
Yeah, I didn't watch the fight.
Well, that's
so yeah, they're punching after the bell.
Yeah, Mikaelian got a point deducted for punching after the bell, I believe, and then Badu Jack got a point deducted for rabbit punching, or actually it might have been the other way around. But both guys got points deducted at different points in the fight. But Mikaelian ended up pulling it out. Guys, I'm going to tell you right off the bat here, I think Opetaia takes care of this guy. However, Opetaia, we were talking about it during the week, that he's actually kind of fragile. That's what people are saying now, because he ended up getting a hairline fracture against his last German guy he fought. Nika hurt him. Brady's broke his jaw, or fractured his jaw in the first fight. Then the second one had him in trouble in the last 4 rounds. So, guys, do you think Mikaelian has a shot? And if so, by how much?
Dang, dude. I'm gonna say Opetaia stops him, but he puts up a good fight before he gets stopped. Because he's a very crafty veteran type of guy.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll see.
He has a chance. He has a chance, just not a good one.
Right, but that's what. Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I was asking. Okay, everyone's got a chance, especially at 200 pounds. They can crack, but how big a chance, right?
Well, Mikaelian, he's like you said, he's crafty. He can go 6-7 rounds, but eventually, he'll start getting paws put on him.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, again, if you look at it from Opetaia's point of view, what else is there for him? Zurdo and Benavides are already tangled up. Badu Jack just lost. So why not fight that dude? What's he going to fight, Rosinski? By the way, there was a guy in the chat in the last episode who said that one of his amateurs or one of his boxers actually had Rosinski in trouble in sparring. And I know sparring is sparring, but still, it doesn't bode well for a guy like that to be going in there against a power puncher like Opetaia. Moving on, too, I was actually quite surprised by this. This is according to certain people on Twitter. They're saying that the ticket sales for Paul versus Joshua are horrible. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the blue seats here are the ones that are unsold. Where is this fight taking place again? Miami or... It's in Florida, right? I believe.
Dang.
Miami?
Let me check. It says, Miami.
Yes, it is Miami.
Is it because it's too close to Christmas? Is it because the economy is not all that great? What's going on? A factor? Both factors?
I think young people don't buy shit. When we watching a fight, we were watching, I think, was it Trinidad de la Hoya? But you see the people in the crowd, right? And they're all in suits. They're all,
right.
Boomers. They got money and they spend money. They want to go to the casino. They want to gamble. They want to do, a bunch of raunchy shit. But what are 18 and 21-year-olds going to spend?
Well, that's a good point. There were a lot of people for the Mike Tyson fight, and it makes me wonder if maybe people got turned off the Jake Paul Express because of that fight. That being said, you said, Frank, that this new generation, the Zoomers, they don't want to pay, but I think most of them do have Netflix, and this fight is on Netflix.
Okay, you mean? I thought you just meant as far as like the ticket sales and what people are going to pay.
Right. No, but that's I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that initially, but now I'm saying that they might not be willing to pay for the tickets, but if Netflix does enough views, they might end up actually being okay with that. Now, that's the other thing that I wanted to mention is I remember I was talking with Bucho in 2017, I want to say, or thereabouts. And that's when Netflix, or around that time, maybe I'm getting my timelines confused, but I think when Netflix first started airing comedy specials, and I remember I told Bucho, I said, hey, this reminds me of HBO, back when they started getting exclusive content, and one of the forms of exclusive content was stand-up comedy. They would give these comedians 1-hour specials, which actually ended up getting a lot of prestige. You got a 1-hour special on HBO. Whoa! And I said, wouldn't it be interesting if they actually end up starting to show sports? Well, here we are, damn near 10 years later, and they're dipping their toes into that. Could boxing be next? I know it seems like it's a long way to go with that because generally some of these platforms don't want to touch boxing. It's considered the redheaded stepchild of the sports world, but you never know. If this is a success, maybe they start risking other types of events because right now they've only gone with the big ones, right? Something involving Jake Paul, Canelo versus Crawford, but maybe eventually, maybe I don't know, maybe Dana White and TKO start doing some good things with what they do, and maybe Netflix comes calling. I don't know. We shall see. Also,
Wait,
in
can
the
I
new,
add something to that? Like,
excuse me.
Like some numbers I've been looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what live events are? Like in like a video game has a live event where you can only play, or you could only get a certain item during this window, like this hour to next hour, or whatever.
Okay.
Like that's become so relevant for like Zoomers, for young people, that it's kind of crazy. Fortnite, which is like a video game, it's a very popular video game, had a live event last week where 13 million people watched that thing live, which is crazy to me.
Excuse me.
Right?
You kind of lost me. So you're saying they were watching a live video game?
Yeah, it's like an event in the video game, like a concert in the game.
What?
Not even like playing it. You were just watching the concert.
Yeah, that's insane to me. That's something that I can't. I guess that's a generational thing, but I can't sit around
Here
watching.
I got a thing though. That's the future though. It's
Yeah,
the future is like you want live events,
Mhm.
and you want that's what they want. They want boxing, but like you want it somewhere simple, like TikTok. If you can get boxing on TikTok, I promise you, boxing's back by next week.
Interesting. I guess you would have to sort of package that in a specific way, because again, we're talking about different like the generation that grew up on HBO boxing. That's way long and gone. I mean, those guys are grown up now. We're grown up. I'm talking about myself here too. We're talking about attracting the always desirable 18 to 30 demographic, and so I think that's why you see now people like DAZN and all that, or organizations like DAZN. They do a lot of screaming, a lot of every time something happens, oh my god, kind of like the UFC, and I guess that's what you need now to keep these youngins' attention.
Yeah, you do. They have no attention span. You need like a streamer who's famous watching the fight and then commenting on the fight while it's happening on TikTok,
Right.
and people will watch it.
Man, that's insane.
Yeah, you need to package it that way because just showing the fights are not gonna attract.
You
I
need
mean,
like a streamer
they're
going
not gonna
crazy,
have.
like, oh my
They're gonna
gosh.
after 5 minutes. They're gonna leave. They're gonna be like,
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm watching. What is this?
Well,
Who
especially like
are
you're
these
saying,
guys?
especially
Why are they clinching?
exactly, yeah. Why is that guy running? But specifically, yeah, with TikTok, I mean, that's a platform where if you get bored by something, you just swipe and boom, you're on to the next thing. That makes it very difficult for these content providers to actually keep these people's attention. So boxing, if they're going to be showing boxing on TikTok, they better make it good. Otherwise, no one's going to watch that crap. Speaking of Zoomers and crap and all that, we talked about in the last episode about Ryan Garcia going to be taking on Mario Barrios, and wouldn't you know it, Ryan Garcia's former trainer, Joe Goosen, he with the denim shirts and the denim coats and the pompadour haircut, is going to be training Mario Barrios. And finally, Ryan Garcia actually addressed that, and he did it with the class and decorum that he's famous for. Check this out.
The fact that Joe is training him is hilarious to me. You know, I know all Joe's techniques.
Sorry, can you guys hear it? I don't know if I got this activated.
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Loud and
perfect.
clear.
Loud and clear, okay.
He don't teach shit but putting your hands up. So I'm about to put a beating on these guys bad to the point where I'm probably going to retire both of them. Joe and Mario Barrios. They're probably never going to work a boxing fight after that. And I told him already on the other show I was on, yo, when I knock him out, this is a bet. You could never wear that Canadian tuxedo again. I'm tired of seeing that shit. It's retired. I got something for him, so it sucks for Mario. He made a bad move there. Joe made a bad move, and now I'm gonna just put a stamp on both of them. Bad.
Is Joe Goosen trying to get revenge on the fact that Ryan Garcia threw him under the bus after the Tank Davis fight? Or is this just a coincidence?
Coincidence. I mean, you can blame Joe Goosen for trying to make some money. So no, I don't think I don't think it's something personal from Joe Goosen. He's just like, hey, Barrios probably called him. He's like, hey, when we're together, he's like, sure, why not? That's it.
Yeah, he doesn't owe Ryan anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's interesting because look, Joe Goosen is one of the best out there, one of the best trainers. He gets the most out of his fighters. He's a little bit like Ismael Salas, except he hasn't been as consistent lately. And the dangerous thing with Joe Goosen is that he doesn't have a stable of 100 fighters like Robert Garcia, who I don't know how he manages. I think somebody once said that all Robert does is he'll hold the mitts for you for about 5 rounds, and there's not that much strategy being talked about, which I find hard to believe. But then on the other flip side to that coin is that, yeah, he does have a lot of fighters, so I don't know how he schedules that. Goosen, on the other hand, he's got a select core group of fighters, a cadre of fighters that he spends time on, and he gives them their all. Now, that's not what Ryan Garcia, that's not the way he saw it. After the Gervonta Davis fight, he said that Joe should have ran the camp better. He said that there were little kids running around the gym. He let anybody in, which actually Garcia was indirectly saying that's what allowed the spy, Tank Davis' spy, to get in there and know all about the injured ribs. So Ryan Garcia really threw Joe Goosen under the bus. And Joe Goosen never actually directly said anything bad about Ryan Garcia other than that what he said indirectly. He said, you don't really train Ryan Garcia, you collaborate with him. So I think that was his way of saying, yeah, this dude's camp is all fucked up. And I tell you something else, it doesn't bode well for Ryan Garcia that he's going to be trained by his father. What's his name again? Angel? No, that's Danny Garcia's brother. What's his name again?
I don't know.
Yeah, that dude's going to be training him, and I just don't see that dude being able to control Ryan Garcia in a boxing camp. I think we're going to see a lot of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. type antics. Ryan Garcia coming out of his room, wearing hot pink undies, eating Fruit Loops, and training in his living room. You're going to see a lot of Ryan Garcia training with that Cobra bag, and then once he gets in the ring, might not look good. Again, Barrios is fragile. He can be stopped, but you got to catch him to stop him. And the guy actually has a good engine. He's got a good right hand. And with Joe Goosen on his corner, could be trouble for Garcia. Could be trouble. Well, let me just see if he said something else, Garcia, here. I think he said something at the end.
People know what they going to see on February 21st.
I'm going to spank him. I'm going to wet my hand, pull down his pants, and spank him till his ass is red and well.
Wait a minute. What? Wet the hand and then... I mean, when he's talking about putting his hand near a man's ass and he's talking about wetting it, what's going on here?
Melted.
I mean, he's using the belt to ass thing. Just goes to show you Ryan Garcia really wants to be Afro Anglo bad. That's why when people said, oh, he's racist, how can this dude be racist if he wants to be an Afro Anglo? He wants to change the color of his skin and his hair's texture. So I don't understand. No, seriously, I mean, he's a Zoomer. He grew up with that. So I don't get it, man. I don't get why people are angry with him because of things he said.
And this guy's talking about he's gonna beat up Barrios. Didn't he say the same thing about what's the other guy, the Romero? Didn't he talk the same shit?
He did exactly.
So I mean, let's wait and see. Barrios is gonna take this fight seriously. He's training with Joe Goosen. When it comes to Ryan Garcia, I mean, who is his trainer? I don't even know who's training this guy now.
Garcia, yeah, his father's gonna be training him.
Oh, I thought you said he was gonna manage the camp. No, he's the trainer.
He's gonna be in the corner,
like the actual trainer.
Yep.
Oh fuck.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
Damn.
I do not trust Ryan Garcia. He's in the same boat. He's in the same boat as Andy Ruiz. They both have good hand speed and power. They got good skills, but they just don't take the sport seriously, or they don't want to, or they're afraid to. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I do not trust the work ethic that goes on in that gym. And Ryan Garcia is the guy that he has a whole bunch of, every time something happens, he has a whole bunch of reasons about why he didn't train properly. I got mental issues. I wasn't living that proper lifestyle. That's what he said about Gervonta Davis. Even with Devin Haney, he didn't train properly. Because you saw how Jimmy pointed this out the day after the Devin Haney fight. He said, if Ryan Garcia actually would have been in shape, it would have been a different story. He probably could have taken Haney out of there. But he was pudgy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he's talented. Don't get me wrong. He's talented. I don't think working with his father is going to be a good idea.
Yeah. I see another upset coming. Unless Garcia gets lucky and tags Barrios and gets him out of there early or in the middle rounds. Other than that, Barrios is durable. And even though, again, I completely overrated him when I thought he was going to be able to beat a 46-year-old Pacquiao. I was actually very surprised at how good Pacquiao was in that fight, which doesn't speak well of Barrios. But again, Ryan Garcia is a guy, he needs to, to beat Barrios and to stop him, you need to push the pedal to the metal. Keith Thurman had enough to outbox him. Tank Davis actually had to push himself to get him out of there. I don't see Ryan Garcia pushing himself all that much, especially if he's under-trained or whatever. So that's what we got there. Now, this following clip here, I really don't understand the context too much. This is Eddie Hearn, who I think he manages or promotes, Lewis Crocker, who's a title holder at 147. And of course, the Haneys now, even though they're... that's an interesting thing. Are the Haneys pro WBC now, or are they siding with Crawford and with the rest of us in saying that screw the sanctioning bodies?
Oh no, they love the belts. They want more belts. That's what they're looking. they want to fight Crocker. They want to unify.
So that explains.
That's why Bill Haney has always had problems with Eddie Hearn, but I think you're gonna show the clip now where Bill Haney is all friendly and smiling with Eddie Hearn because he wants that fight.
Let's see this.
It's an easy fight, easy unification fight. Yeah.
Fire him out. Doing big business. I'm here on official DHP business with Eddie. So
who you calling now? I reckon you probably want to unify against Lewis Crocker.
How's Lewis Crocker doing?
He's doing fantastically well. He holds the IBF belt. Your man holds the WBO belt. I know what you're up to, I know you've already been sliding in the DMs. We know how you move, Bill.
Hey, there's no fight for anyone in the division, in or around the division, other than Devin Haney. That's where all the money is. We know that.
So Devin Haney did well at the gate against Prograis, right? If I remember correctly. But then the pay-per-view numbers were horrendous. Remember, Ariel Helwani asked him, are the pay-per-view numbers out yet? And Devin Haney's eyes looked like Stevie Wonder, like all over the place. It's just, he was jittery. He was his eyes were darting back and forth, up and down. The guy knew the numbers were horrible. So when Bill Haney starts talking about he's the moneymaker, I don't know. Seems like Bill is back to his old tricks. But like when he used to, in his previous life, right? In the streets, slinging stuff that you shouldn't be slinging. That was probably his rep. No, this shit's the best. This shit's the bomb. That we got the pandemic here. Pandemic. Or what was it? What would they call it in The Wire?
The what?
Fuck. In the Wire. Remember the show The Wire, HBO, when they would sell crack in the streets?
I never watched that.
Okay. Well, they had a name for it. They kept changing the name because it was a diluted
I think they
product.
called it Monkey Dick or something like that.
No, that's not what it was. I don't know what the fuck you're
talking about. You want to come to Belfast, yeah?
The earth is our turf.
He said, you want to come to Belfast? All of a sudden, Bill Haney turns away.
I mean, I think Devin has already proven that.
Let's make it in Saudi Arabia.
Gentlemen.
I mean, he went to Australia, but that was a guaranteed win. So maybe he would do it if this again. You know what? I don't even think I've seen Crocker. No.
I did say that. I've never seen Crocker fight. I don't think he's good.
I don't
even know if he's good. I am assuming.
I actually just watched him fight yesterday. I watched the title fight. Man, this guy's garbage. That guy's dog shit.
God! Hey,
but what does that say about the Haney?
That's an easy fight, easy unification fight.
What does that say about the Haneys that all of a sudden Ring Magazine, in their infinite wisdom, and I'm not talking about Ring Magazine itself, I'm talking about the pound for pound panelists, the people who decide that they are, I don't know, I think even Montero, every time they have these weird decisions in the pound for pound list over at Ring Magazine, people who vote for it, like Montero and Doug Fisher, they actually come out on Twitter and say, guys, there's a whole bunch of other people other than us who vote. Don't blame us. So they're telling you that, indirectly telling you they disagree with some of these results. Be that as it may, what I'm trying to say is, how come Devin Haney, who's supposed to be the face of the welterweight division as per Bill Haney, and who's a pound for pounder, this is the best he can do, fight Lewis Crocker? I mean, shouldn't he be moving up to 154 already? Because there's nothing 147 for him.
There's nothing at 147, but they won all those belts, and they avoided 140 basically. Look at how, I think you just mentioned earlier, all these good boxers that are currently at 140. There's a lot of good boxers, and Haney's not going to fight any of them because he decided to move up to 147. Boots Ennis has moved up, so there's absolutely nobody right now in this division.
You know what?
By the way, Teofimo Lopez said that he wants to move up after he fights Shakur Stevenson, so that might be a potential fight. But I mean, this guy's Haney. He's not interested in fighting top opposition. Again, he wants to fight Crocker.
You know what Haney should do? And this is what Brian Norman Sr. said. Brian Norman Sr. said that the Haney's actually wanted to fight Shakur Stevenson. And let me tell you, That's not a bad fight for Haney. I know right now people are still, Shakur mania is starting to come back a little bit after the Cepeda fight. And, for years, a couple of years ago, especially pre De Los Santos, people were saying nobody beats Shakur Stevenson between 130 and 140. That's what some people were saying. And I was always thinking, well, I've heard this rant before. I heard it with Earl Spence. I heard about Golovkin. Like, nobody between 147. Like, the only way Golovkin loses is if he goes up to 175. Even with Lomachenko, some people, after he beat Rigondeaux, some people were saying he could beat welterweights. And then he ended up fighting Linares, and all of a sudden you start saying, no, this guy's cap is at 135. So it's the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. Now people are starting to see, okay, this dude isn't as invincible as they were making him out to be. And I think Bill Haney, he's a good at risk management. I think he knows that they could have a chance at beating Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson, when he fights guys who have comparable hand speed, he struggles. He's not schooling anybody. He's not putting belt to ass. Even against Cepeda, like we were talking about down the Discord earlier, he beat Cepeda, and people try to spin it as, oh, no, he stood his ground because he wanted to. No, he stood his ground because, like Antonio Tarver said, Cepeda took the wind out of his sails with those body shots. And Cepeda landed a whole bunch of shots on the guy. So, again, people were talking about how Stevenson was going to stop him. He was going to put a belt to ass. He was going to whoop him. He couldn't whoop the guy. The only guy who ended up getting hurt in that fight was Stevenson. So Devin Haney, although he doesn't hit as frequently, he doesn't have that volume of Cepeda, he can match Stevenson's speed. He can actually stall fights when he wants to. And I don't think Shakur Stevenson would be walking him down. So I think Devin Haney should stay put and wait for the winner of Lopez versus Stevenson. Because Lopez said the reason why he didn't want to fight Haney earlier this year was because Haney didn't have anything. Well, if Haney's got a title now, he's got a little bit more oomph back in his career based off the Norman win. So I think Lopez would probably be willing to fight him. Unless a Gervonta Davis fight comes along. I think maybe he'd prefer that one. It's a little bit of a better fight. But what do you guys think about that? Shakur Stevenson, Haney. Am I crazy in thinking Haney actually has a very good shot at beating him?
Yeah, a little bit. No, just I don't think it ever happens. But if it does, look, what I'm seeing, the media darling is actually Shakir Twitterson.
Oh yeah,
they believe he's the unbeatable one. I think they just they give Haney his flowers, but I don't think anybody really likes him or likes to see him fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, this Crocker fight really is a bad matchup because, again, people are going to say, he has a title. You're still on that whole thing about the titles? After Terence Crawford, the other darling of the boxing world, finally wakes a lot of people up about the sanctioning bodies. And there's still people out there talking about, yeah, but this guy has a championship. He's not a champion. Louis Crocker is not a champion. The real champion, the real undisputed champion is yet to be determined. And I'll tell you this, to be the real champion, you don't need to have those paper belts to be considered undisputed. You just got to beat the man, and if there's not a lot of guys out there, then just beat the top 3 guys as per ESPN or Ring Magazine. Forget about the titles; they're irrelevant at this point. And if you're still around, giving these guys credence and pumping them up, you're part of the problem with boxing. The other thing I want to talk about was, Bucho mentioned this. Teofimo Lopez Sr., trainer of Teofimo Lopez Jr., I suppose, says that Lopez, his son, is moving up to 147 after this Shakur Stevenson fight. So check this out. Hold on. Because some people are saying excuses are already incoming. Oops.
You have a healthy Teofimo Lopez in there, he's gonna bring it, and he's gonna entertain the crowd.
Definitely. Do you feel that this is gonna be the toughest test of his career? We know that Shakur. This is not the toughest fight. What was the toughest fight?
It's never been the toughest fight for my son. The toughest fight for my son is him being healthy. He's a smash. Yeah. So, and we got to be careful with that because losing the weight. We're moving after this fight. We're moving up to 147. I'm not gonna allow
You're gonna stay at 147. All right.
You have a.
They're gonna move up to 147.
Yep.
But so that interesting. Some people were saying that, hey, it sounds like they're making excuses already. What do they call it? Premeditated excuses. What do you guys think?
What do you mean about what? Like that?
that they're gonna blame. Oh, we couldn't make weight. Teofimo couldn't make weight. That's why he lost. Like if he loses against Shakur Stevenson, in other words, they're gonna blame the weight for it.
No, I don't know. Maybe he's struggling. But, you know, I have no idea.
Pre-built excuses. Pre-built excuses. That's what I was trying to. That's the word I was trying to use. I mean, listen, the Lopezes are known for their tactics too. They're not averse to playing mind games, and so maybe I think that's what they're trying to do with Shakur Stevenson. But yeah, Teofimo Lopez. I mean, when you look at the dude, he's very muscle bound, but he doesn't look like a weight bully. I mean, not like what Shakur Stevenson was doing at 126, 130, and even 135. Nowhere near that. So. I don't know. It's interesting that a lot of these dudes now, I don't know, it could be BS or it could be the truth. Maybe the guy is outgrowing the division. And I think that's like I was saying, that's the problem with boxing. A lot of these dudes should be fighting. We need to go back to the original divisions and same-day wins. That's what I think. But
I think it could be the mind games a little bit, but at the same time, I think, 140 is really deep for them. So I think if he were to beat Shakur, then he feels like, there's easier pickings up at 147. That looks like where the, easier, bigger money fights are, rather than stay at 140. What would he have left to do at 140? Like, he's going to fight Matias and Puello and
Hitchens.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want that.
No, and Teofimo's probably, he can move up to 147 and say, well, I was already the lineal junior welterweight champion. I can move up. I'm allowed to move up and conquer new lands. Basically.
Well, I mean, listen, if he gets past Shakur Stevenson, like Frank was saying, that's the darling of the boxing world. I mean, Turki Al-Sheikh seems to be like that's the hand that Turki Al-Sheikh wants to hold. I wanna hold your hand. That's what he wants to do. That's what he's singing, Turki Al-Sheikh, every time he sees Shakur Stevenson. So if Teofimo Lopez can beat that dude, who everyone's saying he's a marvel, he's a genius, a generational talent, well, Teofimo Lopez does have the right to move a certain way if he wants to, especially after already conquering 135 and 140, maybe 140. But then again, 147, the only real fight that I could see him selling is the Devin Haney fight. So, and again, you got to remember, a lot of these fights already started getting talked about way before they happen. So maybe they're already talking about the winner of Lopez versus Shakur against Devin Haney. You just never know. But that's the thing. I was reading the comments about that Twitter or that video on Twitter about Teofimo Lopez Sr. saying that his son is already ready to move up to 147. People are saying, pre-built excuses for when Shakur whoops him. I'm thinking, are people still talking about Shakur Stevenson whooping anybody? I mean, he just said this about Cepeda. I'm going to put belt to ass. He was hitting the guy flush, and Cepeda just kept coming and started banging his body. And actually, the only guy who ended up getting hurt was Shakur Stevenson in that fight. So that's the mentality, that's the expectation that a lot of these people have about Shakur Stevenson. And the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people are expecting the Stevenson versus Lopez fight, the Lopez versus Stevenson fight, to be a very tame, tactical affair where there's not a lot thrown, and whatever is thrown is probably going to be hitting air for both guys. And it's probably going to be the type of fight where people are left wanting more. So if some of these people out there already have the expectation that Stevenson is going to whoop Teofimo Lopez, aren't chances high that they're going to walk away out of there disappointed?
100%. Look, I mean, because if you're Shakur, right, you know all you have to do is play tag and you're going to win. Like, he knows what he has to do and all he has to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If you read everybody's social media, the media, like these Dan Canobios, they already have their scorecard filled out. And I'm be telling you guys this, when you listen to boxing people talk or pundits, their scorecard's already filled out.
I mean, again, I'm expecting a fight where not much happens, and based off of that, depending on the judges, they could give it to Teofimo Lopez. But the way that the establishment is the way to which it points towards, or the fighter that it points towards, I'm thinking they give it to Shakur Stevenson. And like I was talking, I think we talked about this on Friday, that both guys actually criticized the Sheik. The difference is Teofimo Lopez actually went a little bit overboard with it. I think all Shakur Stevenson said was, he called him a towel boy or something. Towel boy. But Lopez was saying, oh, these guys are homos, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't think that bodes well for Teofimo Lopez Jr. We're going to be opening up the phone lines here. But speaking about a little bit more drama here, more boxing drama, Eddie Hearn is saying, because again, I think it was in the before last episode, we were talking about the 6-hour marathon sessions, negotiation sessions, that is. Don't think dirty, everybody out there. They had these 6-hour marathon sessions where they were negotiating the Virgil Ortiz, Jaron Ennis fight. And Eddie Hearn, who was promoting the Pacheco fight yesterday, had this to say about those negotiations.
Update on Boots and Virgil.
Just waiting. You know, we get calls from Golden Boy. They're telling us they want to try and make the fight. Virgil's lost his pen. Hopefully he finds it.
Update on
Somebody
Boots
said
and
that
Virgil.
Somebody said sent a message saying that the guy actually said he lost his penis. I was like, okay, they actually photoshopped the title of the video. But guys, what do you think? Some of you guys were saying that you're afraid that this fight won't happen. Is it starting to feel more and more like that based on these marathon negotiation sessions occurring, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean,
go ahead, Sobers.
My bad. No, you go ahead, Frank.
No, go ahead. Okay. I was just gonna say real quick. I wish I had a job where I got paid to lie.
What do you mean?
Well, Eddie Hearn, like, I mean, they're getting paid to, I don't want to say lie, but basically spin yarns.
Well, that's what they do, right?
The promoters,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you get paid to spin yarns, as they say. That's it. I was just gonna throw that in.
Sobers, you were gonna say something?
Well, I mean, look, I don't want to rub it in, but like, guys, this fight's not gonna happen.
Shut up.
You know, I said it already. This is just like, they're gonna keep talking, now and then. Virgil Ortiz's dad is gonna be like, "Fuck that, fuck F Eddie Hearn, F Eddie Hearn." No disrespect, but F Eddie Hearn.
Exactly.
We got our pen right here, and I'm signing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here. They're not. They're playing. If they wanted to fight, the shit would already been made. Whatever. Like, you get this, I get that. Okay, what are we fighting right here? Like, how much things do they really need to negotiate?
Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, precisely to your point, what's his name? Virgil Ortiz Sr. actually went on Twitter and said, man, he actually said, I think something along those lines. Like Eddie Hearn's line, he says that they're the ones, Matchroom are the ones that are making things difficult. And not for nothing, but if you're looking at, this is why you got to conduct yourself in a certain way, because the way you conduct yourself is how people see you, and not for nothing, but Ennis' side is the only one that was rejecting fights en masse last year. So whenever a negotiation falls apart, I gotta presume, again, I'm not saying that I'm gonna state it as a fact, but I gotta assume, okay, did the negotiations collapse because of the one side that's always rejecting fights or always walking away from, you know what I mean? So I don't know. We're gonna get Sobers out of here, first of all, for being a negative Nancy. But also, I agree with him. I think this is boxing, and this fight, there's something to it that I don't like the way things are what's being said. I don't like how both sides are moving. And crossing my fingers, hopefully we do get that fight.
It's like they're both back to bitching in negotiations, BDA.
Exactly. Yeah, it's almost that's what it seems like. That's a little bit of what it seems like right now. Oh, speaking of the titles, apparently Abel Sanchez had something to say about Terence Crawford and the WBC, and apparently he was actually pretty critical and negatively so of Terence Crawford's decision to not deal with the WBC anymore. Let's see what he had to say.
Terence fought a great fight, and he's tarnishing by not being honorable. He's tarnishing that great victory that he just had, by not being honorable and living up to not only his responsibility, but his promises. The WBC made it possible. I shouldn't say the WBC. The organizations made it possible for Terence to be known. If Terence was fighting for the XYZ title in his hometown and it was not a world rating, then nobody would know him. The reason he got the opportunity to fight for that kind of money is because the organizations were rating him and they were given opportunities to fight for a title. He became known because of the organizations, not because he's Terence Crawford. If at the beginning, when he first started his career, he could have said, I'm never, ever going to pay sanctioning fees, do you think anybody would have ever known him outside of his hometown? Nobody, because he wouldn't be recognized by...
First of all, how can you? He says, well, he's not being honorable, but why are you supposed to be honorable towards people who are dishonorable? These sanctioning bodies, organizations are snakes. However, and again, there's plenty of blame to go around here. You know my stance against the sanctioning bodies, so we're not going to repeat that. I'm against them. But the fighters and the managers and the promoters and the TV people, they're at fault too for propping them up and keeping the system alive that allows these sanctioning bodies to wield so much power. Because, Abel Sanchez does have a point. Terence Crawford is the one who gave them importance by talking about undisputed in the 4-belt era. So in a lot of ways, Crawford's one of the guys who popularized the WBO. The WBO was considered a joke. So if he would have said, Abel Sanchez does have a point, if he would have said, hey, fuck the sanctioning bodies from the get-go, but no, he profited from them. And now all of a sudden he's starting to realize, oh, well, they're not that good. But then you gave him importance before because you pumped up the whole undisputed in the 4-belt era. So fighters have to understand this is what happens when you deal with the scorpion. It's going to sting you. So, again, I've said it en masse here. I'm pretty sure people are getting annoyed, but the sanctioning bodies for 20-something years, Ring Magazine was telling you, screw the alphabet organizations, and nobody listened. People want to talk about, no, Teofimo Lopez isn't undisputed because he never had all the belts. Well, look where we are now. Either they count or they don't. What do you guys think? Is Abel Sanchez being overly critical? What do you guys think?
He's right. He benefited from the belts, whether it's right or wrong. He did. Mm-hmm. They both benefited. It was a symbiotic relationship. Yeah.
And so they both, like you're saying, symbiotic. In order to have all these accolades that you have, you needed all those belts. Those pictures that he has with all the belts draped around him, that's because of those organizations. The reason why they said, oh, what you did is so amazing against Canelo, you're undisputed at 168, is because he had all those belts. So for you to you act like you're doing business with these people and they turn around and say, I'm not paying. Man, that's some lame ass shit, right? So, but it's because he never plans to fight at 168 again. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's
stupid.
Why.
Now he's gonna look stupid when Canelo's chasing that rematch now and they're offering him a lot of money. See how he's gonna put himself between a rock and a hard place. Now he's gonna look dumb. You know what I mean? It's just so look, this is Crawford's problem, right? He's a scumbag. He doesn't like to pay, right? So why is he throwing his belts away and all this controversy? Because he doesn't want to pay. Why did they assault that mechanic? Was it back in 2015 or something? Where he got an assault charge or whatever because what? Because he didn't want to pay the mechanic for the job. He didn't want to pay. Mm-hmm. Why did Crawford get shot in the head at a dice game? Because he lost and he didn't want to pay. He's a scumbag, bro.
The reckless driving. Listen, it's true.
The police pulled him over. They said, look, you want to go home? You're Terence Crawford. You say you're the champ. Show me some love. And you know what? Terence Crawford didn't want to pay. He went to jail that night. He should have paid that cop off.
Okay, I don't know about that, but yeah, listen, yeah, it's a problem, and I understand fighters need to. By the way, the phone lines are open in case anybody wants to call in. The phone number is right there in the marquee, and it's gonna stay in the left-hand middle corner of your screen. Look, you know, everybody plays the game. It's interesting because this is a.
By the way, I think you posted the old phone number on the other screen.
Let me see.
Yeah, that one.
What the fuck? I thought I had the yeah. That's insane. Maybe that's why nobody calls. No, I'm kidding. But what was I gonna say? This is a man bites dog type of story because for every fighter that the sanctioning bodies screw over, there's one guy who actually ends up ramming it back to them. And that's Terence Crawford right now. So, in a way, again, I agree that I think most people agree that the sanctioning bodies are scumbags. But why play the game and then act surprised? And that's the other thing. Crawford recently apparently said, "I'm the face of boxing now because I beat the face of boxing. That's how it works," he said. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking,
that's what I was going to say, BDA. It's not just the WBC to Terence Crawford. He thinks he's been cited throughout his whole career. Oh, I've been ducked. I could never sell. So now that he's on the top,
Oh, you said my bad.
Now that he's on the top, he's going to find every reason to complain about everything, not just the WBC.
Well, can I say something? Double L in the Discord made a very good point. He said Crawford's probably going to sort of melt down a little bit because he's finally got the fame that he wants. But eventually it's going to dissipate because he can't hold on to that fame. He's famous because of what he accomplished against Canelo and throughout his boxing career, but the news cycle moves fast. I remember Sugar Ray Leonard, his autobiography, said, man, when I won the gold medal and I was on the news and I came back to my hometown and everybody's, hey, Sugar Ray, Sugar Ray. And then he thought he was going to be able to live off that fame. And his future promoter or whatever actually told him, look, stand in this was months after his gold medal win. He said, go stand at the mall. Go stand over there and see how many people recognize you. Nobody recognized him. And Sugar Ray Leonard said in the autobiography that it was a blow to his ego because he realized, fuck, yeah. And it's even worse now with the internet. News cycle moves quickly. So Crawford's going to be, he's going to be forgotten. I don't think he's going to enjoy that too much. And he's probably going to implode or something. But real quick.
And it's not like the fight was memorable, BDA. It's not like just rewatch the fight and you'll start thinking about, Crawford, how great he was. It was an uneventful fight.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
and I mean, the media tried. The media pumped it up because they needed a story to, like an underdog type story. But that's the other thing, though. Remember when he beat Spence? He was going everywhere with his belts, like Teofimo Lopez too. Remember when he beat Lomachenko?
Showing up.
That's what Crawford was doing.
He had a parade.
Exactly. Yeah, he had a parade that lasted a year. Sober. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. He had a victory parade for a year off that.
And then he's cheating on his wife.
Look at the pictures, BDA. You can see Shakur Stevenson looking like a happy girlfriend, like somebody's happy baby mama, like holding up the belts for her, like all smiling and shit. Like
exactly. Yeah, Gonzalo, you're. I'm gonna.
It's called being hood rich, BDA.
Yeah. I had to meet Gonzalo, by the way, because he was. Is there something going on?
Oh yeah, that's Terrence's problem. He's just hood rich, He doesn't have the reach of the old ways. Like what was it? The Tonight Show.
Right.
The 106 106s. For the hood, and then the mainstream Jay Leno. Yeah, those things don't exist anymore. So I think he's on Cigar Talk or some shit that I don't know. I think I seen once or twice, but nobody gives a fuck about those places or it's I mean they do, but it doesn't have lasting I forget the word, but you know what I mean.
They even Floyd, try to put him on that
even after Floyd. What?
They even try to put him on that show with Shannon Sharp, Shay Shay.
I don't know what that is, man.
That's the football guy, right? Yeah. And again, he started wrestling the guy. He started wrestling that dude. I mean, he can't keep his
video. Yeah, well, he was wrestling. Oh yeah. Somebody posted it.
Someone just said a great thing like SNL. Like Bud would never be on SNL,
Oh hell no.
Right. I heard. Crawford says if you want to interview him, you have to wrestle him.
Wrestle him.
You got to wrestle him. That's the only way.
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah, BDA. I think Jerry says calling number does not appear to be working.
For fuck's sake!
Did you call the right number?
Of course.
320. I was gonna say, even Floyd after he beat Pacquiao, nobody gave a shit about Floyd. When he fought Berto, his farewell fight again, you would think that would have been a big event. That one of the greatest of all time is retiring. You gotta show up for his last fight. Nobody showed up. Nobody gave a fuck. So imagine now with Crawford, who's not even on Floyd's level.
To go back to that real quick then. But so he said, I beat Canelo, who's the face of boxing, so now I'm the face of boxing. That's how it works. Now, it's well known that that's not how it works. Shane Mosley beat De La Hoya. Shane Mosley beat De La Hoya in 2000. He didn't become the face of boxing. Just because you beat... It's like that Breaking Bad. I hate to use that quote, but he says, just because you killed Jesse James doesn't make you Jesse James. Jesse James. No, excuse me. See, Freudian slip. Jesse James is a porn star, by the way. So hopefully people caught that. But no, hey, by the way, that porn star, you know what? There were videos of her passing out drunk in the streets, and all of a sudden they found her and her husband dead in shotgun wounds or something. I don't know what was going on there. When people say BDA, why'd you get out of the industry? Well, what do you think? It's not all that safe. By the way, let's go to a phone call real quick. Let's go to 410. 410, you're on the air. 410, what's on your mind? Ah, shit. Bunch of technical issues here. 410, you're on the air. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I got breaking news.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Bud Crawford's been stripped of all 3 of the titles for frauding welfare and being on food stamps.
Nah, come on. See, that's not. I mean, come on. That's gonna get us in trouble now. look at him laugh. Listen to him laugh.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Did you hear Connor Ben's take on this Crawford situation?
No. What'd he say?
Well, I mean, he's not in line with it, and all the obvious stuff. And what he said most poignantly is kind of my biggest point, is everybody knows the crack. That's the term he used, probably a British thing. Everybody knows the deal. Crawford, more than anybody, his whole career been built on belts. Now, I don't mean to be redundant, right? But this is an argument if the sanctioning bodies are corrupt. Everybody and the dog knows that they are. Crawford has benefited from that corruption. In this very fight, he was not ranked at 168. They put him ahead of anybody and everybody in their top 10 to get a shot that he really hadn't earned. I thought that what should have happened is Crawford should have had to fight Skull. He should have had to go and get that belt. And that would have legitimized him at super middleweight, at least a little, because Skull did have the belt. And he would have been bringing something to the table also, because as it stood, he brought no belts to the table in that fight. But the man has benefited from the corruption. He's not some patriarch or hero. The whole time he went along with paying all those sanctioning fees, he had no problem. You never heard him say a word. But on the way out, he's seen an opportunity to stiff Sullivan, even though he knew the deal. That's what it is, brother. It's not about going to bat for the sanctioning bodies. But just like Ben said, everybody knows the crack. Everybody knows what the deal is there. And until we get something different, that's what it is in boxing, and that's what it's always been that I can remember. The only thing different is it used to be the promoters would pay the sanctioning fees. So really, with the current system in place, if anyone should be getting on, it should be making the promoters pay the fees instead of the fighters, right?
Right.
But check this out. In the wake of all this, it's about 2 weeks old now. Have you seen any of these fighters giving up their meal ticket and say, "Here, take my title"? Nah, they haven't, and they're not going to. Just like he didn't. He didn't do this the 2 other times he was undisputed, or all the other sanctioning fees. He's seen a way to get over, and that's what he did. He's not a patriarch. He's not a hero. He's a guy, just like the other guy said. He doesn't like to pay. If he doesn't want to like to pay, and he can get away with it, that's what he's going to do. Now, if he should fight Canelo again, what should happen is he should have to fight Shiraz or Mbili to get that WBC title if they'll do business with him again, which I don't know that they will, unless Turkey pays the money up front, maybe. But that's what should happen. But in my eyes, he should have to go get that.
You know what, though? In hindsight, everything we're talking about, it could all have been avoided had Terence Crawford just said, "Okay, take the belt." If he wouldn't have made a big deal about it, but he did make a big deal about it. He should have said, "Fuck that." He should have just said, "Hey, I'm still undisputed." And people, I think most people would have gone along with him.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Now, he wouldn't have been undisputed at super middleweight, because if he would have told them then that he wasn't going to pay, they wouldn't have sanctioned it very likely. I doubt they would have. You know, but if he would have done it then, I would applaud him. Then he would have been a hero and an advocate for the cause. But that's not what he did, right? He went along, got everything that he wanted, and then when he seen he could possibly get out of not paying, that's what he did. And ain't nobody, like, I done heard Ryan Garcia, of course, the promoters, Eddie Hearn and Oscar, but what's his name? Golovkin's old trainer you just played, Ben, who else? I've heard several fighters say they're not on board with it, and the reason they're not on board is just what we're saying here. You know the deal. He got over. At the very least, he got over, and I would also add, he's no patriarch or advocate. He's a guy that was looking out for himself. But I want to touch on something else, too, if you don't mind. The other night, you were talking about Usyk fighting Wilder, right?
Yeah.
And you said you don't like it. And I mean, look, I think Wilder's washed up. I think he started to show signs of being washed up in the second Fury fight. But the beatings he took in those fights, and he's probably like, 40 years old? I mean, he's no young guy. I think he's washed, but I don't blame Usyk for wanting to fight him. 10 years from now, it'll look better than it maybe does right now, especially if Wilder can put up any type of reasonable fight. Because the reality is, Wilder, whether you love him or hate him, he's one of the 4 top guys of the era, right? Usyk, Tyson Fury, AJ, and Wilder. You see? So I understand why Usyk wants to fight him, and that's the reason Usyk is giving. And let's face it, if Wilder's as washed up as he's looked recently, it may be an easy fight for Usyk, but this guy deserves at least an easy fight right now. I mean, hell, he done fought AJ twice, he fought Fury twice. Those were 4 tough fights. He fought with Daniel Dubai twice, right? And so I got no problem with it. You know what I mean? I think it's okay. And looking back on it, it'll look better then, I think, than it does maybe now. Especially if Wilder can make a reasonable fight out of it. What do you think?
I mean, look, you made a good point about Wilder sort of being softened up by Fury. I did want to mention that. And yeah, Usyk has the right to fight whomever he wants, but it's still a fight that I think Wilder is too tenderized and too old at this point. I know they're about the same age, but he looked bad in Kansas the last time. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But I think Usyk Wilder in their primes, yeah, it would have been interesting, but I still would have picked Usyk ultimately because I think he's just that good.
One last thing.
Sure.
Okay. This Stevenson Lopez fight, I'm almost willing to bet anything it's going to be a historical stinker. Stevenson has proven that he will stink the joint all the way out, even in his hometown. The only thing that I hold out for this fight that maybe it could be good is they got a lot of a competitive rivalry, the two of them, because they came up together. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, I think, competitive rivalry there. The best thing that could happen is for one of them to get dropped early, right, or hurt, and then that way it could incite a competitive spirit in both of them to put on a half-decent show. Otherwise, I'm not even buying that fight, man. If it's $80, I'm not buying it. If it's $40, I probably will. But if it's $80, not a chance. I'll just watch it the next day. That fight's got stinker written all over it. Because Lopez, he's another one. He can be somewhat sensational at times, but he's also inconsistent at times. And when he can't do the things he wants to do, it doesn't seem like he knows how to do anything else. That's when he starts showboating, and to me it's kind of boring because he's got the tools just like Shakur Stevenson, but it only seems like he can use them when he's allowed, when he can. When he has to work something different, it just doesn't happen. I see a feint fest, a clinch fest, and 12 rounds of enough to make you want to not watch boxing.
That's true. That's true. Right. No, I agree with you. I agree. Hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully we're wrong. All right, well, listen, Jerry, thank you for your call, man. We do have to move on, but again, thanks for calling in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Really helps us out. Really helps us out. It only takes 2 seconds for you to do so. Let's go to our phone call here. Let's go to 210. 210, you're on the air. 210, what's on your mind?
It's Rod, Texas.
Raw, Texas. What's up, Raw?
I go to Southpaw.
Oh,
Southpaw,
okay.
sorry.
Southpaw.
I'm going by my old alias, man.
Before you start, though, you sound very loud. Are you on Bluetooth or something, or speakerphone? Because, I mean, it sounds extremely loud.
Yeah, I got you on speaker. How about now?
A little bit better. Go ahead, Southpaw. What's up?
Hello? Yeah, I'm in a good mood. I was just at a Bam Rodriguez. He had a little meet and greet, and it was good to see, man. A lot of people came out. You know, he had the line was long. It was a cool event, man. It was good. It's a good thing. Our guys really get to shine and grow, and it's a good idea to get out there and be like the people's champ the way he is. So I'm in a good mood, man. So it's good to see my guy from my neighborhood really just shine like that. But I agree with Jerry, man. I think the fight's going to be a stinker. I was looking at tickets. I was looking at going to it, but I'm like, man, do I really want to freeze my ass off in January in New York and then go all the way over there? And then, like, the undercard is going to have Ortiz versus, what's his name? Richardson, right? So I'm like, man, that's going to be another stinker. So I'm like, there's no way I'm going to that fight now. So I think it's going to be a stinker. But
excuse me.
I'm going to touch on the call.
Is that confirmed that you're talking about Jermaine Ortiz against Hitchens?
Oh no, who's that? One of them they were jarring at each other. Keyshawn Davis, and he was going at it with I think it was Hitchens. I think he's gonna fight Ortiz, Jermaine Ortiz.
So
I think that's what I read lately, but I was like, man, that fight's not worth going to. I don't even. That's a fight that we're gonna watch, but I'm telling you guys, don't tell people about it. Don't gather like your casuals around. Hey man, let's check out this fight because they might not like you after that.
I agree.
It's gonna suck, but yeah. But with I agree with Jerry, man. But you know what? With this Crawford thing, man, it's hard, man. I'm on Crawford's side, right? But I'm also on the belt side. It's like because the fighters today, we all see their fighters are crooked. Fighters will rip off people faster than the promoters will. The belts, they're crooked because of the way they do things. So it's just like a snake pit. You know what I mean? Like you're saying this, you can't really take sides on either or because they're both shitheads. You know, on they're both fronts. So I don't blame Crawford in a way because Cotto did the same thing because now Crawford's made a lot of money. He's like, do I really want to pay that much money? And then Cotto dropped it for the same reason. He's like, I'll pay you, but I'm not paying you that. I'm not paying you 3% of my purse because now I'm making millions. I'm like, no, like, and I can understand that. Like, no, you don't want to give him that much money. And I know guys like Canelo and them, they kind of negotiate that, and that's probably what he should have did. But a lot of guys like O'Shaquie Foster just came out and said, like, hey, man, this belt changed my life. And because he's a guy that would have been overlooked and avoided, and had he not had that bargaining chip, he would have got his shot. So, and we saw with Janibek, too, is a guy being avoided, and he's a champion, so he got that's what keeps him afloat, but he shot himself in the foot by testing dirty. But, so it's both ways, man. Like, if you look at Mario Barrios, he was given the title, you know what I mean, and at welterweight, and that title's allowed him to get huge paydays versus now everybody's gunning for him because they see him as the weakest champion. So, but he's getting $1 million paydays in the process. Pacquiao, Thurman, now Ryan Garcia. So I know him. He's a good kid, so I'm happy for him. And as far as the trainer thing, I don't think it's a big deal because Joe Goosen is close to the PBC. He commentates for him, and Mario Barrios is a PBC fighter. They're around each other a lot, so that's probably how that happened. And Mario Barrios is he's not a facetious dude like that. You know what I mean? It's probably just one of those things where, hey, let's train. And Ryan Garcia is, he didn't even train with Joe hardly ever, so that's not a big deal. But that's all I got, man. It's just like these sanctioning belts, man. I mean, I want to see them go away, but at the same time, they do help fighters. So I don't know, man. It's just this boxing's a red light district, man. There really is no wrong or right. It's just a cruel world.
That's true. It's a cold world. That's for sure. All right, listen, Southpaw, we got to run here, but thank you for your call, and call back next time. Take it easy out there.
All right, man. Hey, yeah, don't forget Canelo Duck Benavides. Peace.
That's funny, man. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. And don't forget, 2 seconds. That's all it takes. 2 seconds. Phone number is right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. We're still taking calls. And indeed, let's go to our phone call here. Let's go to 951. 951, you're in the air. 951, what's on your mind?
Yeah, hello. Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. What's up?
Well, I just my first time calling in, so I'm a little, hello to everybody in the panel, and I just love listening to you guys. I'm at work. But quick question, BJ. What part of, you said you're a first-skin Mexican. What region of Mexico are you from? There's not too much to ask for.
Monterrey, Nuevo León. That's where I'm from.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm a first skin too, but I'm from Jalisco, like Los Altos de Jalisco.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering you're from the same neck of the woods as me.
No. I mean, it's a relatively big country, so chances are we might not be from the same place. But yeah, man. Right now we're in the we're technically here in Canada. It's not even winter yet. It only starts obviously in the 21st, but it's already looking like winter. There's snow all over the place, gushes of wind, minus 15 centigrades Celsius actually. So yeah, man, I wish I was back in Nuevo León, but it is what it is, man. What's up?
Gotcha. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. And also, I am not looking forward for any of these fights. For example, like the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I just thought it was going to be a repeat of when Usyk fought Joshua in the first fight. And then I'm not looking forward for the Teofimo Shakur. Like, the only fight I'm looking forward to is the one fight you guys are saying that might not happen, which is Valdez versus Boots Ennis.
Right. Yeah, that's the one that the people on the panel, they're a little bit skeptical over, cynical, that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the only fight I'm looking forward to, man.
Well, I mean, the Japanese card, the Nakatani versus a Mexican dude, Hernandez. I mean, it could go both ways. Could end early, or it could go. It could actually be a tougher fight than expected. And then, if Nakatani wins, that's a mega fight between him and Inoue over there in Japan. So, yeah, there's plenty to look forward to. Plenty, believe me. I don't know how you. I think I don't know. Yeah.
Last thing, Monterrey or Tigres?
Ah, come on. Which one? There's the Rayados and then there's the Tigres, right?
Yeah, the orange one. They're in the final today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, is that Bucho? Is that right? Hold on, let me ask Bucho. He knows more about what's going on right now in the Mexican League. Oh, I think Bucho right now is busy. But yeah, man, all right, listen, I'll try to catch it. Usually, I remember my family members were Tigres. I don't think that Rayados was the other side, I guess, of town or something. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, nice to meet you, man. Thank you for taking my call.
Call back next time, all right, man?
All right, man.
Take it easy.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. You too, man. I told him to call back and he stayed silent. That means fuck you. That's what he was telling me. No, okay. Don't forget to hit the like I said. Hit the like. Really helps us out. And as soon as I mentioned Mexico, I know people in the chat got to start with it. Let's see what people are saying. Parucua says, Puro Michoacan. All right. Handsome Mechanic says BDA is not Mexican. Oh, I gotta tell you, they're finding me out here. Chidlin says no wonder BDA is so stingy. Handsome Mechanic says BDA is a black French Canadian. All right, there you go. Mars says stop lying, BDA. You're from Oaxaca. Caller, I'm from Los Altos de Jalisco. All right, a fellow compatriot right there from his neck of the woods. He says Arandas. All right, shout out to Edward Torres right there. See, we got a big Mexican contingent here right now. I guess maybe it's because Tigres are in the finals, like he said, or semifinals, whatever. Don't forget to hit the like I said, hit the like. Dark Dos says BDA is from Honduras. All right, I'm going to stop reading the chat. I'm going to get depressed. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 347. 347. Not on anything against Honduras, by the way. I should say that. It's just that I'm depressed that people are attacking me so viciously in the chat. I had to salvage that one. 347, you're in the air. 347, what's on your mind?
What's up? It's NPR. How you guys doing?
Oh, NPR. What's up, man?
Good, man. Let's talk about the Pacheco fight last night. And I also want to talk about Ryan Garcia. And I want to kind of compare the two.
NPR, sorry to interrupt.
There's a tremendous difference between...
NPR, sorry to interrupt, but you sound very... We got some audio issues here. You sound very distorted.
It was busted up a little earlier. I'm going to call back.
All right. Call back. He sounded overmodulated right there. Sounded like he was either too close to the phone or he was on speakerphone or Bluetooth. Yeah, when you call in, fellas, please try to keep the line clean. Don't use Bluetooth. Don't be... because then that actually creates a sort of a distortion effect, which I can create on myself here, but I'm not going to do it. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 347. 347, you're in the air. 347, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, man? NPR.
All right, NPR, you're back.
Yeah, I want to compare the difference the trainers between Ryan and Pacheco, just as an example. I don't believe it's Pacheco's fault. I think it's his trainer's fault. Who is training him? I don't know who it is, but is not showing him some basic things. And he panics. Like when the guy comes in, he doesn't know what to do. He goes straight back, right? That's like boxing rule no. You don't go straight back. You circle off to the side, you know. That's one thing, but he was tall and he was taught that way.
All right, sorry, NPR. I have to interrupt you again. Sorry, man, because people are complaining about the sound quality. It started sounding boomy again and distorted.
What about now?
A little better. Go ahead. I gotta hear.
All right, so I don't think it's his fault. I think it's definitely his trainer's fault. I don't think it's a talent level thing. I think it's his training. He's not being trained properly. I mean, there's some things that is boxing 101 rules that he's not doing. He goes straight back, and the guy wasn't even like a great TikToker, let's say, but he was able to work his way in, and he panics and he just grabs on, and like he's not using head control, he's not breaking off to the side, not going away from that. He has only one jab, and that's a circle jab. If that's not working, he's in trouble. So there are a number of things I think that he's not doing that I don't think is his fault. He's just not being taught correctly. Whereas I think it's Ryan, a guy like Ryan, he's just, a rockhead. He's not going to do what he's told. Joe Goosen couldn't do it. He can't. Nobody's going to be able to work with this guy. So I think there's a tremendous difference, and it's a terrible shame. I don't think Pacheco's an untalented guy. There was no way he threw that low jab, and he got caught with a hook right over it. And what was that jab for? In other words, it wasn't a purposeful jab. It was just he put his arm out, and he went down over it. I mean, that's once again boxing rule 101. You don't just throw some mid-range jab, and you're going to get caught. He's not being taught correctly, and I think it's a terrible shame because it's a waste of a career. This is this guy's life, and I think it's a terrible thing, and it has to be the coach, because if a guy like me who's watching for enjoyment can see these things, then you're looking at a waste of somebody's talent.
I agree. Listen, I agree, man.
It's very awful.
Vessel said that earlier in the show. He said maybe a trainer won't change because maybe that's just his natural disposition. But by the way, NPR, people are saying, you're sounding very boomy today. Are you walking around the phone or something? Because it sounds like it sounds okay for 2 seconds and then it sounds boomy again and distorted.
All right. Well, let me. I'm kind of pacing back in my living room, back and forth while I'm talking.
That's what I knew it. It sounded like you were pacing back and forth. What are you doing? Are you on Ritalin or something?
Is it settled now? I know, right? Is it settled now?
Yes, now it's settled. Yes.
All right. I'll keep still. So I think it's a terrible shame. And whereas with Ryan, I'm a little disappointed. I'm like, come on, you idiot! Ryan is a very talented guy. So that bothers me. He's throwing his gift away. I could never react to punches as fast as Ryan could. And I was not that athlete, right? But so I see that, and I see as a teacher, I'm a teacher. I've been teaching my whole life. So I see this, and I'm like, I know the difference between somebody who's not responding and somebody who's a rockhead like Ryan, right? And you also see this in something like Tyson Fury. Well, Tyson Fury was not a rockhead. Because Tyson Fury ran out, he saw a problem, and he went out and sought other guys to fix this problem, right? So we see these different kind of, teachers back and forth, and who wants to work with whom, and who is not being willing. You got to be willing as a student. You have to be willing. And the ultimate thing. And before I started teaching, I was taught this because I was very arrogant as a teacher, and because I was a hot shot as a musician. I was like a hot shot on the scene, and I was like a year of being a failure as a teacher. And then I went out and I was like blaming students for my failures, but it was my ego. And once I settled down, and my friend taught me, he goes, you're being a douche. Well, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm a fucking egomaniac over here. He goes, you turn these people off. When a good teacher, the relationship is the teacher has to be compassionate towards the student, and the student has to respect the teacher. It's
That's
the only
true.
relationship that works.
That's true, man. And maybe Pacheco. I think Pacheco has too much respect. NPR. I think that's the problem. I think he actually should get a little down and dirty and actually dig down with those boys. Because that's what he was doing.
As soon as I did that,
yes,
I literally turned on a dime, and I became just an excellent teacher. Because what I ended up doing was I checked my own ego. It wasn't about me anymore. Because I was a hot shot. I got all those scholarships. I was the guy on the scene, records, and all that kind of shit. But then what ended up happening was that I was basically like, yo, you're nothing, you student. You know what I mean? I was putting my arrogance on the students. And so as soon as I changed that relationship changed. And so you'll go there and you'll see these old school teachers like Eddie Futch. And you'll see that there's that relationship there. He actually loved Joe Frazier. And he cared about his fighters. And he was there to help them out. And that wasn't his first one. The first guy he got, I forget who it was, but wasn't a highly talented guy. I was an okay guy. I forget who the first guy he had was when he first became a professional trainer, you know? And he took him for nothing. And that's the power of somebody who's compassionate but clear, you know?
You know what? Yeah, that's a great...
These days, we've broken the...
That's a great point.
We've broken the cycle of pedagogy.
All right, you're getting a little bit...
All right, gentlemen, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit too deep there. On now you're getting into pedagogy and then the educational system. But I mean, no, listen, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Diego Pacheco, I actually think it's...
It's very important.
I know, I know. All right, well, listen, PR, thank you for your call. Call back next time, all right, man? Take it easy.
I tell you that all the time, BDA.
Actually, that's the excuse.
Podcaster.
That's the excuse I do all the time. When the show doesn't go well, I blame the panelists. I don't blame myself. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. Phone lines are still open right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. And no, listen, Frank, I'll say this. I think Pacheco actually needs a little bit more disrespect in his mind. I think he respects his opponents a little bit too much. That's what I think. I think he needs to go out and start throwing hands. And he actually was doing better when he was letting his hands go and dig into the body. But again, maybe he was afraid of getting caught. I don't know. What else was I going to say? He said something interesting about, NPR said something that I wanted to piggyback off of. Fuck, I forget what it was. It'll come back to me. What else was I going to talk about here? Ryan Garcia. More Ryan Garcia? We got another clip here of Ryan Garcia talking about, he ended up getting in trouble with the positive test and all that. And so in the news was Janibek a while back, a couple of days now, or a week now, where he ended up getting caught with something too. So Ryan Garcia had this to say about Janibek. All right, it's loading here. All right, hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. It's loading. Okay, here's what Ryan Garcia had to say. I think this was on Ring Magazine's show.
Because...
Oh my goodness gracious, now it won't play.
I did test positive for PEDs, but I will be on the record to say I never took PEDs in my life. So there is a problem with supplement contamination. I don't know if this is his case, but I do believe it's his case with Subro Matias. And Ostrine is one of the most, common tainted supplement in supplements. But I don't know what he tested positive for.
Well, it was meldonium, and it's a very powerful endurance PED. It's used by a lot of Eastern European athletes. And
meldonium sounds like something out of the X-Men.
Yeah,
right? Like Wolverine has that in his claws.
Wakanda titanium.
Yeah.
He's going to have his B sample tested. We know how that goes. It's the same urine, and he's poised to be stripped of 2 of his alphabet titles.
See, this is what I find hard to believe is how are these people getting pumped through urine tests? According to Victor Conte, these professionals, these wizards, they know how to circumvent, forget the urine test, the blood tests, which are more difficult to circumvent. These people know how to do that. So if he's getting pumped by, I don't know if they misspoke on that show, but if it was through urine, yeah, there's simply something weird going on here. And he says meldonium is used by a lot of Eastern European athletes. How do you know? I mean, people were popped with that, but that doesn't mean they're all using it. So on the other hand, Ryan Garcia's excuse of contamination, I've heard that some of these facilities that produce supplements are actually dealing other types of stuff under the radar, if you will, and they use the same facilities, and therefore there is a chance of contamination. But how the hell do you prove that? I mean, I'm more prone to believe that a lot of these top-tier boxers are on something. If you want to prove that there was contamination going on in these facilities, I need more evidence than just, well, I heard that that's what happened.
Yeah, I think they just have plausible deniability because, they're probably hiring strength and conditioning coaches or people are cooking their meals, doing a lot of things for them. So they can always say, well, I didn't know. I mean, they're responsible, but as far as you're not lying if you say, I didn't take anything. I didn't know, they'll say it, I didn't knowingly take anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the plausible deniability that the promoters and the managers, they get in that too. That's why they'll grill the opposing fighter if he tests positive, but then they won't ever mention it again because they know that their fighter at any point could end up testing positive as well. So again, it's like the sanctioning bodies. People just don't want to really address the issue. They'd rather just let it go and keep business going. Because then if they start really clamping down on testing, I mean, think about it. Imagine if every time somebody get tested positive, they were banned from the sport for 3 years or something like that. Now all of a sudden it would be a little bit more difficult, but the system allows this. And the mainstream media allows it too. It's only when a guy gets popped that they go, oh my, they get outraged. But they know people are. I mean, how many people in the mainstream media called out Crawford and all these other dudes? Jesse Bam Rodriguez just recently fought. He's on snack too. Jaron Ennis is on snack. Virgil Ortiz, and people just ignore it when it suits them because they want these fights to go on. But all these dudes are on something. Actually, let me rephrase that before Rifle Shapiro tears me a new one. I suspect. That if you were to put a gun to my head and say, BDA, do you think, tell me the truth, do you suspect that most of these top guys are on something? The answer would be yes. What else was I going to say about that? Okay, so we talked about the Jake Paul fight not selling well. This is the other thing. Okay, so we know that the SUFA, TKO, whatever thing is starting up in January. That's going to be their inaugural event. And I got to tell you, there's been a lot going on. There's been some resistance in the boxing world against Dana White's involvement in boxing. So Sean Zittel, or Zittel, I don't even know how you pronounce it, but I was listening to the Ringside Reporter earlier. He was really breaking down some of the claims that Zittel made because Zittel was, again, talking about how, watch out for Dana White, he's coming. And look, this new organization, TKO and Dana White and Nick Khan, or whatever his name is, the other dude involved in that, they might end up making things worse, or they might end up doing dirty dealings. They might engage in dirty dealings, which is on par with boxing. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying it's business as usual. But whether it's actually going to be worse or not, they still haven't done jack squat now. So yes, I understand, keep your eye on them. I understand that point. But then it becomes a little bit problematic when you go, okay, but these people haven't even started and they're already getting criticized as if they're going to bring down boxing. I got to wonder where the agenda is, particularly when those same people criticizing Dana White and TKO and Nick Khan didn't do it for PBC. So that's when I go, what's the agenda here? I wouldn't be surprised if Zittel one of these days ends up on Pro Box, right? Because all these dudes, they want to be on screen. They want to be working the telecast. So if one of these days we ever see him on the telecast, we probably know, okay, that's probably why he was pushing that so hard, the anti-Sufa sentiment. Or maybe, TKO rather, or maybe he just wants to sit on his soapbox and attract people that way, that he's the one spearheading this movement and championing. But then the other problem is the fighters. Listen, I'm all for fighters being paid well, but then that's been one of the problems with boxers. They're overpaid. They're divas. I mean, just look at the way Crawford's reacting. Like, he's acting like he's the face of boxing, and he's not. And if you go back a couple of years ago, 2019, I want to say, thereabouts, even before that, when he was at 140, he was already dictating terms to Manny Pacquiao. He told Manny Pacquiao, listen, you want to fight me, we got to do it at 140. Who the fuck was he at those? So there's a lot of entitlement in boxing. So for me to start, woe is me for the boxers, no, I don't look at it that way. But also, Sean Zittel actually started going after Crawford a little bit, and I'm going to show you why. The Sufa, TKO, whatever, Crawford as well. Supposedly they're going to be involving themselves in amateur boxing. I think that's, I don't have the article here in front of me with me or the notes, but apparently that's what they're going to do. They're going to be working to promote, or actually fund, I think, USA boxing, the amateur boxing. So Zittel actually went on Twitter and said that a source told him that Crawford was going to be at one of those events with Dana White and the other Zuffa TKO guy. And the public, I think it's Terence Crawford's publicist, actually ended up getting involved there, and they started going back and forth. Let me just give you a taste of what ended up happening yesterday on Twitter. Hold on a second. Don't forget to hit the like, people. Hit the like. And the phone lines are still open in case anybody wants to call in, give us their thoughts on anything and everything boxing. All right, here we go. So this is what he put up. He said, I'm hearing that Dana White, Nick Khan, and Terence Crawford are headed to Texas for the USA Nationals to try to purchase the rights to USA Boxing's national tournaments. Emergency Live. That was the thing that set it off, right? And again, a source told him that, according to him. So sources can be wrong. It's not necessarily his fault. He's not making this shit up. So then Julie Goldsticker, who is aligned with Crawford in some capacity, said, Terence is in Dubai, but I'm sure he'll be making a quick swing through Lubbock to Lubbock, right, Sean? And then she put an emoji there of her, somebody rolling his eyes. So she's rolling her eyes. She's being sarcastic, ironic, whatever. And this really set Zittel off. I mean, this dude he went off. He said, my apologies. Terence is not at the USA Nationals in Lubbock. He was at the IBA, banned from the International Olympic Committee, by the way, he says, though I agree. And then he goes on a rant, headed by Putin ally Umar Kremlev. Okay, so he's one of these people that starts making it political. And hold on a second. So then they went, I don't even know if I can show you all the tweets because they were going back and forth. So then he started complaining about her calling out his sources and how he didn't do anything wrong. Then he says, well, my quote was never, I saw myself being diametrically opposed to Crawford. The information you gave me was that he's tired. Okay, because Julie Goldsticker said, you made your feelings on Terence Crawford clear when we spoke last week, and no matter how much real information I gave you, you want to keep going with the Terence slander, and I'm not going to allow that to go unchecked. So this is interesting because, again, this guy's going hard at Zuffa YTKO when they haven't even done anything. Now, again, it's possible that he's reading the play and he's predicting correctly that Zuffa White, they're going to be bad for boxing. But other people now are questioning his motives. Because, again, Zuffa White, TKO, they haven't done shit yet to earn this type of negative criticism. And now this Crawford lady, she's telling Jean Zittel that I see right through you, I see what you're doing. So are things bad when Sean Zittel is actually willing to criticize Terence Crawford to get to TKO? Because I never thought I'd see the day. What do you guys think? I don't even know if any of you followed
what do you
the whole
say,
story.
San Zittel's? Yeah, I am. But what are you saying San Zittel's trying to do?
Well, what I'm saying
is, a little more clarity
I'm surprised that he's going after Crawford to get to TKO and Dana White and those people, because I never thought I'd see the day when he would actually negatively criticize Terence Crawford.
And he's trying to say that I'm slow. Okay, I guess.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
I'm a 5-year-old. So Sean Zittel, he's going after what is him going after Crawford supposed to do?
Because Crawford
is TKO bad or Crawford a sellout?
Because Crawford's aligning himself with Dana White, TKO, the Sheik, and all that.
So then Crawford's a sellout.
Well, listen. I'll let somebody in the chat say it. Rigman Thomas says, Sean is getting paid under the table by someone in the industry. My guess is Gary Jonas. So that's his contention. That's what he's saying. I'm not saying that that's the case. Gary Jonas is the ProBox co-founder. Now, I talked about this in the build-up to Canelo Crawford about how boxing scene, they're complaining about Turki Al-Sheikh refusing to allow them into the venues and the events. Which, by the way, that's their right. It's not a public event. These are private events, so they have the right to refuse entry to any journalist. Now, my take on that was, I'm always worried when people start censoring, because if they do it to these journalists, what happens in one of these days, Turki Al-Sheikh or whomever somehow aligns themselves with YouTube, and all of a sudden we're next. The social media content creators. We're the guy. Oh, don't attack Turki Al-Sheikh, because then we're gonna get YouTube or Google to pull you out or something like that. You know what I mean? So I agree on that basis. However, the whole pro box versus Turki Al-Sheikh or boxing versus Turki Al-Sheikh is precisely because of that. Pro box boxing scene is owned by the people who own pro box, and this whole new TKO league headed by Dana White and involving the Sheikh and all that. That's going to be competing against Pro Box because they're going to be showcasing lower level fights. And so that's the thing that that's being left out here. That the reason why people are going, like in boxing scene, are going for the Turkey Al Sheikh is not necessarily the freedom of speech thing. It's because they're the direct competition to Pro Box. And so now people are speculating whether Sean Zittel is being promised some sort of position either by boxing scene or by Pro Box. And again, these are speculations. There's no proof for that. There's no evidence yet. But it is weird. People are starting to really question that. I myself, I'm scratching my head here going, well, trying to read what's the play here. What's, who's on whose side and for what reason. I don't know if I explained it correctly there, Frank.
No,
I'm just...
I understand. I mean, they all need a job. Everybody needs a job, and I think everybody's just trying to find their place in the ecosystem. It's a den of vipers. I don't think there's any good guy or bad guy, but it reminds me. I don't want to offend anybody. It just reminds me of all the ecosystems, like these right-wing pundits, right? These Tucker Carlson guys, and who's the other guy? The Banyan. They all flip on each other. They all try to find a space and then just exploit that space. So that's what this Zittel guy. I don't know him, but that's what I'm thinking he's trying to do. He's just trying to find a space to sit down and exploit.
Well, again, I think
and you need to BDA, because a lot of these influencers, they're getting clout now. They're going on Pro Box and DAZN.
Right.
DAZN picked up some of these influencers, so I think you need to think about selling out.
I think he's well within his rights to question TKO, Zuffa, whatever. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. These people, like I was saying the other day about Sam Simon getting into boxing and then getting swindled by Don King or outmaneuvered easily by Don King. Whoever thinks that they can get into boxing is either naive or part of the next batch of the Shark Tank. He's going to be the next member of the Shark. You got to be ruthless. And Dana White certainly has proven himself to be that type of person. Apparently, he's still parroting that old story about how he got ran out of town by Bulgy Wild. What's his name? Bulgy White. What was the guy's name? White, the Boston guy, Massachusetts guy. And Jamie, who's well known, or I mean not well known, but he's in the know over there in Massachusetts. He said no. Dana White. The story is he got kicked out of Massachusetts because he was selling tainted gear, like supplements and all that. And people wanted to rip his head off. He wasn't it's not like he stood up to organized crime. No, he actually was. Sort of in that type of underworld, and he ended up getting kicked out of there or ran out of there because people were going to beat the shit out of him, or maybe even worse.
Allegedly.
So, but so I am dubious of that dude, absolutely. But again, it's why go after them so hard now and put up all this lambasting this organization when they haven't even done anything, and then when you realize that he failed to criticize the PBC. Again, I'm thinking, okay, is he doing this for a job? Is Pro Box promising a position? Or, you know what I mean? And like Frank said, a lot of these people on YouTube and on Twitter, a lot of these boxing people, they want to be Larry Merchant. They want to be Chris Mannix. They want to be the color commentator, the Coppingers. They want to be on camera, looking at the camera, speaking. We all like to give our opinions, but once you join these organizations, you got to play ball at some point. You got a boss over you. The independent circuit is the best way. But I think a lot of these people aren't content with it. They want to, I don't know, they want the corporate phallus, I guess, like Jean-Jacques would say. So, what do you got? Butcher, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's too early to tell, or this back and forth that's going on here?
It's too early to tell. We need to wait for things to settle down, see how it's going to work. We don't even know how TKO is going to work. Right? Maybe Sean Zill's going to start working for them. I don't know.
Now that would that would be quite a surprise. That would be a twist if there ever was one.
I had a good talk with Dana. Now they explained to me how it's gonna work. Blah blah blah. Let's give him a chance.
He cleared up a lot of my concerns. Yeah. Yeah. So he
talked it out.
So she said, Julie Goldsticker said, in your last tweet, you said you'd apologize if Terrence wasn't there. There was a video of him on the actual other side of the world, and his team member made it clear where he was, but you wanted to invoke his name to get clicks and likes and sell your false narratives about him. And then Siddle said, if it was about clicks and views, I'd have taken their money last year. Some of us have values that go beyond money. I guess it doesn't matter if you're benefiting from a country where women don't have basic human rights as long as you are as long as a check clears. Well, I mean, wasn't this guy getting paid by the PBC though? Because I remember seeing him in PBC videos, unless he was doing it pro bono, right? So I'm seeing a lot of people, like I said, Beeps over at ringside reporter, he was sort of castigating Sean Zittel for getting on his soapbox, talking about, well, I mean, where were you with the PBC? And now all of a sudden it's about women's rights and the slavery thing going on in Saudi Arabia. And look at him, he kept going, Zittel did. Part of that personal conversation was me saying in Terrence taking their money, and then another tweet 2 minutes later, and then 2 minutes later another one. Like he was really trying to save face that he made a mistake, or that he got called out in an erroneous, making an error there, or speaking erroneously. Oh, and then at the end, look at this. At the end, he goes, I said, I'm hearing he'll be at the Nationals with Nick Khan and Dana White. He is not an... Oh, no. But he started to try to save face by saying, I predict... My source told me that Dana White and Nick Khan were going to be there, and they were. It's almost, like I said, trying to save face. Like, you see, I wasn't making shit up. Totally. I don't know. This Twitter grift is really difficult to keep up with. I mean, you got to be tweeting, and you got to be... It's all about people's reputations. Once the reputation takes a hit... Look at this. He kept going. I'm always man enough to admit whenever I'm wrong. I mean, just say you're wrong and just stop, man, because then it looks a little bit weird. But anyway,
well,
listen. People
hate being wrong, right, BDA? They can't ever admit it. So if someone has a problem with that, they end up looking foolish, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then again, that's when people think too much of their reputations. I mean, you're gonna get shit wrong.
Okay, whatever. Yeah,
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, you can just say, oops, or yeah, I was wrong, or whatever, got it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this woman got under his skin some. I don't know what's going on. Mark T in this chat says Showbiz is the #1 boxing journalist. I gotta tell you, if anybody, I've seen people try to follow the Showbiz template, and one thing that people should take a page out of his book, an example out of his book, is that the guy doesn't get into the whole back and forth thing with people. I've seen people try to attack him, and he just goes, yeah, whatever. The most I've seen him do is he calls out people correctly, by the way, for not really even paying attention to his videos. They just go off the headline or the title, the video title, and then they start commenting, you fucking blah, 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 blah. He called them out on that. So, yeah, Showbiz has made it to where, and that's where a lot of these dudes want to be. But let me tell you something. 90% of the people in the YTBC, they want to be where Showbiz is at. They wouldn't last. Even, let's say, out of some miracle, some of these people are giving a platform, like Showbiz is being given on the zone and all that. These people would self-implode within a couple of months, I predict. Because some of the people on this YTBC...
Could you imagine the people on
That's
on
what I'm saying. Some of these people would.
Oh, my God.
There's only a select few people, and I'm not going to name names about who can make it and who can't, because, but yeah, it's a corporate job. You're working within a network, and people are telling you what to say and what not to say. And some of these people would just have meltdowns. They wouldn't be able. Some people can't take the criticism out there, and so all these people that want to be Showbiz, he can handle it. The pressure and the comments and all that. Other people would not be able to. And I think that's something that they don't realize really. Again, everybody wants the fame and the panache and the sizzle that comes with it, but they don't want the criticism. And that's not how it works.
And all the schniz, that comes with it.
Exactly. Or like Sober says, that good Cali Kush, as they like to call it. You get all the good Cali Kush. They give it to you for free. But am I wrong, guys, in thinking like that a lot of these people want to be famous, but then they wouldn't be able to handle the criticism that comes their way?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you have to know how to handle. Like you have to know how to handle yourself in that corporate world. You have to play the game and speak the talk.
I mean, you're not sitting in your car filming YouTube videos anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're on the zone, it's not the same. You can't just say whatever comes to mind. You can play the race card. It's corporate. The corporate world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a whole different.
You lose creative control. Just like, I'm sorry, BDA, but just like musicians, right? They're underground, and then or movies, they're underground, and then they sell out to Universal Music Group. Well, then you're not the same artist anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. That's an excellent point, because I think it was you or somebody else who used the word ecosystem. And I guess that's a way to use that's the perfect term, or maybe just go with the term world. It's two different worlds. Right now, what we do here, for example, it's okay, we're regulated by YouTube, obviously. We can't just do whatever we want necessarily, but pretty much nobody's telling us what to say. once you get to that job, and then of course you got to be traveling and you got to go to the meetings. And look, listen, maybe some people like that, but again, I don't think most people know what they would be getting into with that type of job. And we were talking about that behind the scenes, or no, maybe it was on Friday on the open lines. We were talking about that that dude that talks about they don't call it the manosphere anymore, but traditional values and trad wives and all that. And then he ended up going on a show and he got into it with a lesbian. They were debating. And the lesbian woman brought up the fact that this dude who's always talking about the trad lifestyle, blah, 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 he ended up getting married to a woman who already had kids with other guys. So, in other words, by their definition, he's a cuck. And the guy got
in other marriages, you know what I mean? Like divorced twice.
Yeah, okay, multiple. Yeah, exactly. Multiple relationships. So this girl mentioned that, and the guy got pissed, royally pissed, to the point where it actually looked bad.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, you did the very good. You did the perfect impersonator.
Shut your mouth, you stupid bitch. You look sniz. You look sniz.
Yeah, so that dude ended up
everyone in the room was like, "What's the sniz?"
Exactly. And I think a lot of people watching that said, "Whoa!" And from what I understand, that cost him. His reputation took a hit because he's talking about the trad lifestyle and this and that, and then he ends up losing his shit that quickly. Because she brought.
You want to say his name?
Sure, yeah.
We're talking about Andrew Wilson, right?
Well, I didn't even know what his name is, but yeah, I think that's right.
That's his name, Andrew Wilson. He's on that whatever podcast. He has these little debate shows where like they'll be running for a long time. So I seen some of his streams. They'll run for like 6 hours where they're just right there. I don't know, like debating. I don't know what their ideologies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they ask dumb questions, right? Like I see one of these shows, this guy, this guy looked like in his 40s, wearing like a little teenager hoodie and a hat, a snapback, asking this woman with tattoos all over his face. I mean, tattoos all over her face. Like I guess she's like an immigrant from Colombia. And he goes, "If there was a war, would you side with Colombia or the U.S.?" And she goes, "Colombia." And he's like, "Wow, really? Then technically you shouldn't even be a citizen because blah blah blah. You got to renounce your citizenship." It's like, bro, like none of the people in the room are gonna go to war. They're gonna pick up a gun, and you know what I'm saying. They're trying to get all deep into they're trying to get philosophical with like a OnlyFans model. It's so dumb.
No, it is, man. And that Andrew Wilson guy, we are talking about the same guy. It's the guy that couldn't open the jar on that.
The jar of pickles. Yeah, and he's like some manly man can't open the jar of pickles.
He's got the same hand strength as Shakur Stevenson. Couldn't open up a jar. But it's interesting, man, because. but okay, Sobers. Let me ask you, man, because you got a channel, you got a community. It's a thriving, a vibrant, diverse community, if I may say so. He's got LGBTQ people and all that in there.
International,
right?
It's international.
Do you think you could handle? All of a sudden, let's say from 1 year to the next, you got 100,000 subscribers, and now you got 500 people commenting on each video. You're gonna get some nasty comments, right?
Yeah. I mean, that right there. I'm already used to. I feel like that's most of what I get anyway. So
there you go. Yeah, he's already getting shit on. So yeah, he's used to it. No, but it's. I mean, it's true. Like you've been. I don't know. I don't even know how long you've been here, but you look and sound like you grew up with this more or less. Not necessarily from childhood, but that you've been at this for a long time, interacting with people, blah blah blah. You don't mind taking a little shit here or there. But there's people out there like I was talking about the kidney guy. What was his name? Liver King.
Liver King.
That dude imploded. Wes Watson imploded.
And you know who else? Jordan Peterson.
Yes, that's another one. Although the attacks
that
he got
because of the trolls, he went down that troll. He went down that troll rabbit hole and he lost his mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point.
I think what you mean is it's more like, so you're asking Sobers, but I think what you would have to ask Sobers, do you mind people being in every aspect of your life? Like we could talk, all of us, we could talk, but it's not like we're
like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So they'll know who
I don't
you
know
are.
If I want to meet with,
people will find out
and have him be like, "Oh, you make jokes about the stinky pinky."
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me the joke about the stinky pinky. I heard you. I was like, "Oh shit."
He's got you in the corner. He's got you against the wall.
With these big ass curved swords, like closing the door behind me. Like, oh fuck!
He's got you pinned against the wall, and you can see that he's
take
wearing.
him to the temple of Versace.
Exactly. we will sacrifice him in the temple of Versace. It's like, oh shit. But what was Jordan Peterson though, he did get attacked by the mainstream media, and I think that also is one of the things that got him. But Frank brings up a good point, because once you become famous to a certain extent, people are gonna be looking at everything you say under a magnifying glass, and some people can't handle that. Some people include
they'll go after your wife, your girlfriend, your parents. So like there's this, I'm gonna just say his name. I don't know if people know who he is, but I guess he's an influencer and he went on Pro Box. He goes by Max, and he's just like this kid in his room, you know. But what if we found out he dated a midget? You know, could he handle that? He wants to be famous, but like people would dissect every part of your life. You didn't graduate, you didn't, you know, and it's like I don't think they're willing to have people dissect who they are as a person in their life, not just their content and what they're putting out.
Right. It turns out that like they tortured somebody when they were underage and they got expunged from the record, but it actually did happen. You know what I mean? It's like some shit like that, some dark, gritty movie type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're just like a complete scumbag, like you know who'd be great had they went viral was like Johnny Boy. Because he's like probably the scumbag that would love, like, yeah, I did this. I beat up so and so.
Yeah,
like
beat up the old lady. I took her purse. Yeah.
But you see why I disagree with you there? Because he couldn't even get past the 10th circle of hell where he was at in terms of views. So if he couldn't make it out of there, how the fuck would he make it against? Imagine 100,000 people criticize him. No, he would not make it. I'm telling you, that's precisely one type of person that wouldn't make it. But what I'm saying is
I get it.
A lot of these people too, like you mentioned that, Frank, a lot of the people who become the grifters, whether it's on the left wing or the right wing of the political spectrum, some of the people actually, they're scumbags, and that's precisely why they're able to be succeed, because they don't, like, for example, Eli Segbek, he's still around. He hit a plateau though. He hit an impasse at some point where he can't get over a hump. But one of the reasons that made him successful and made him get a little clout, as I like to say, is because he has no shame. He is shameless. He will say the most idiotic things. He make the most dumbfounding statements. Well, he knows he's contradicting himself. He's not dumb, but he doesn't care, because as long as it gets him access to a fighter or whatever, he doesn't care. And whenever I look at people like that, those are the people that I wouldn't be surprised if you ever get into business with them and they screw you over. They're the type of people who say, "What? It's just business." Like, nah, man, this is real life.
Right.
It's not separate. Yeah. So some people don't give a shit. And those are sometimes
he was just on the getting roasted on social media. I guess he said something to somebody just recently and they were roasting them. And
I
he fell off.
I think he's used to getting pushed around. If you ever seen him in Robert Garcia's gym, like they treat him like a punching bag.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's just used to being that guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's pretty clear too when you can tell he's being biased, or when he holds grudges. That's the other thing. Like he's got a grudge against Joe Rogan.
For sure.
He's got
a
grudge
no real like integrity, like journalistic integrity, you know.
Exactly, and people start seeing through that. Like when he says he never gave Tyson. It's always something with Tyson Fury, and at some point you're thinking, all right, like he said he would beat up Mario Lopez in boxing. So when he starts saying dumb shit like that, people start. So you see, he's got a lot of viewers, but I think that's one of the reasons why he hit an impasse, because people realize, okay, this guy is off the wire. Like there's something wrong with him, and that's why people stop visiting his channel or paying too much attention to him. And that's what happens. Eventually, you hit a point where you got a lot of viewers, but then those same viewers start seeing that you're a psycho or something, and then they start leaving you. So to the point where you still got a couple of viewers, you're still better, you still got more views than most people, but you're never gonna get to where you really want it, because people realize, hey, this guy's incredibly biased, or he's crazy, or he's just got a grudge against everybody. So, what was the name of that other dude? He was on Joe Rogan. He was an Afro-Anglo guy talking about religion or whatever, and then he got called out to a debate, and he was in the debate. And then he made like 50 videos complaining about how they were trying to mute him or whatever. And then it turned out to be bullshit. And then he started crying on the air, apologizing for the false claims.
I don't remember that. Oh, yeah.
Maybe somebody in the chat can. Billy Carson, I think that's him. Yeah. Shout out to Rafael Garza, man.
Okay.
I think that's the guy. Look him up, Sobers. It's one of those. And then it gives fuel, because now there's a whole YouTube industry of people who go after Joe Rogan, for example, and his friends. And they got infinite ammunition, because every week something happens. So they're constantly making videos off of that.
I've seen those videos, bro, where they have like 3 pictures of the like the people. They have like the same thumbnail, and it always says it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He's finished.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's
And it
always
works.
something like that. Like how many of these it's overs videos are there going to be?
Exactly, and it works, Sobers. That's the thing. It keeps. That's why they keep doing it, because it works, and it's a very good grift because it works. You know, there's never ending ammunition. There's especially some of the Joe Rogan friends. They constantly fuck up, and a lot of these dudes. Again, to my point about how some of these influencers or whatever, they get to a certain point. They get famous, they get a lot of views, but then they start fucking up. That's even worse because now people know them, and now they get to see the real character, and eventually these people get found out. So like Tom Segura and some of these other Joe Rogan friends, apparently these people are assholes, and they get exposed.
Oh, they're the worst.
And I said allegedly because I don't really know. Is that really your opinion? You think they're caustic personalities?
I could never stand any of the guys that revolved around Joe Rogan. I could never stand any of them. Like, and it makes sense how none of his friends are funny because he's not funny. Why would he want to surround himself with people better than him at his job? And they're very they talk very avant-garde about comedy, like it's some kind of art form or something. And it's very corny, but yeah, like it would make sense. Why would like a girl want to hang out with a bunch of prettier girls than her? And
well,
she's like,
you know what's going to happen to showbiz?
Well, we got Fu TV, the ultimate showbiz critic. Go ahead, Fu. What's up?
What?
They're gonna find showbiz in an alleyway getting his eyeballs licked by a tranny.
His eyeballs.
That's very specific, right? That's his fetish. You're saying
like Eddie
that's
Murphy.
what he's
Remember
into?
Eddie Murphy? They found him fucking. He was like picking up tranny prostitutes and rubbing their feet.
Nah. Hold on, Fu. He was just giving her a ride, man. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I need it. Did you hear the story he told? He was like, "What are you doing out here at this time?" He says he said, "Oh, I just saw the girls, the prostitutes, and I asked her. I said, "What are you doing out here at this time? Do you need a ride home?" That's what he told the news. He was out at 4:00 in the morning. He says, "I was looking for a late night library."
Well, listen.
That's what he told the police.
That
he
is
was looking for a library.
I'll say this: that's the old excuse because I've seen it before, not in my personal life, But listen, Eddie Murphy, he's a legitimate. Eddie Murphy's a legend, and if he wants to go around doing that type of stuff, hey, more power to him. That's what I say. Shout out to Eddie Murphy.
His family was out of town. His kids and his wife. He decided he was going to go rub some tranny feet.
Futi really is up on all of this, man. He's up on all the information about.
I think it's hilarious. I'm going to show it on my show. It's going to be funny. I got to point that out.
Hey, you know what? There was also Pee Wee Herman. That was the best. Remember that dude? He was jerking off in a movie theater. He got arrested.
Paul Rubin.
Yeah, Paul Rubin. Yeah.
Yep, he got arrested.
Well, you know the part about it is because he always was creepy. I mean, it's a grown man in a suit.
Yeah, I
they
never
always
got
do
into
that.
that.
You know that, right? They always mock the public in that way. You see, like Bob Saget, he's this dirty stand-up comic, and then they make him America's dad, and then he's in America's Funniest Home Videos. Behind the scenes, I mean, he said some creepy shit. That guy, Gilbert Godfrey, said that guy killed a woman.
I saw a video.
He made a joke. He was like, "Oh,
I saw him murder her."
He says, "Oh, when you killed that hooker in 1983," and he like laid out all these details. Like that doesn't sound like a joke.
And then he said,
and then everybody,
like,
yeah, you know what?
That's what he said. It's like,
I did. I think I didn't finish watching it, but there was a video of a guy talking about Bob Saget and how there were rumors that he might have actually murdered somebody. So yeah, those rumors are out there. Again, not saying that those. Obviously, I'm not saying they're true, but I'm saying rumors are out there. So take it as you will. Make of that what you will. Right?
He probably did it. Like I said, they mock people. They do that. They take this unlikely character and put him in children's shows. Another one's George Carlin. He was a hardcore atheist. They made him the conductor in the Thomas the Tank Engine show.
Yeah, he was a bit of a defeatist guy, right? He was
he was black-pilled. He was very, very negative atheist.
He's what the Zoomers nowadays. If he was still around, they would call him a doomer, right?
I guess. I mean, he despised hipsters, but yeah, he was like a mixture, sort of like lefty, sort of right winger.
Right.
Sort of there. And that's why his comedy caters to both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and he's you know, everyone always plays those clips of him about religion and all that. But I will say this, man, as it pertains to this whole TKO thing. Yeah, look, we'll see what happens. But my advice to most of these YouTubers and social media platform people is be careful what you wish for. You know, just start off slowly. Don't try to get as many views as you can right off the bat. I mean, yeah, try to get them because chances are you're not gonna get a shitload right off the bat. But really think about how you're dealing with people, how you're interacting with them, and whether you can actually take criticism. Because in this line of you know, not work, but what would I call it? In the YouTube sphere, you need to have thick skin. And look at Food TV. Food TV is another example. He goes on. Some people say, "Oh, you're crazy. You know, you sound crazy." Blah blah. He doesn't care. He's just here to give his opinion and have a good time. And I think that's a big lesson.
I mean, and you know, everything about TKO that I said is all coming true. All of it.
Is that right?
Oscar laid it all out. I'm like, that's exactly what I said a year ago. We laid it out. I made like 3-4 videos about it. And I said exactly what's going to happen. And boom, it's all happening.
What
is happening? BDA, you know who reminds me of, because you were saying that? I'm sorry. Remember Robert Downey?
Morton Downey?
No, Robert Downey.
Robert Downey Jr.? Iron Man? Yes, I know.
No, there was Robert Downey. He used to have these outrageous talk shows.
That was Morton. Morton Downey. That's his name, Morton.
Oh, Morton Downey? Okay.
Yeah.
Just a complete scumbag, right? Just saying the craziest shit.
His shows were we were playing episodes of Morton Downey's show on Second Renaissance. I don't know if they're still up. I don't know if we watched them during the YouTube era, but we were watching shows of that. And he was like, there was a show where he actually called out. There was a Jewish guy, a couple of Jewish people who were calling out this paintball. What do they call it? Gun. You know, when you shoot each other with paintballs.
Paintball.
Yeah,
paintball. This paintball complex where they would have, you know, they had the walls and everything. This was in the early 90s, so I guess this was relatively new. And these two Jewish guys were saying that, they have Nazi symbols, and this symbol that looks like Odin or whatever is actually, you know, what the Nazis would use, blah, blah, blah. And Morton Downey was hearing the other side of the story from the owners, and then he was taking questions from the audience, and he started grilling the Jewish guy, and then at the end he goes, you know what, I think you're and he gets right, the guy's sitting down, and Morton Downey Jr. bends over in front of him, not with his ass, but I'm talking like face to face, and he goes, and he points his finger at the guy, he goes, you're a scumbag, get off my set, and people started clapping and said, holy shit, that, like, he called out the guy for you know, false flag type of shit. And I don't think you'd see that anymore on TV, maybe on the internet.
That's what I would do, you see?
Right. Exactly. So maybe Frank has a point. You are the real life present day Morton Downey Jr. You're right.
Oh no! He doesn't even watch any of my shows. So like whatever.
Frank,
he doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't listen to that guy.
Frank, you watch his show, right?
Yeah, I'm sub to Foo.
There you go. What are you talking about, Foo?
No, dude, you're on here. He told me. I seen your stuff.
He said something about furries. Like I'm talking about furries.
Well, I think probably
furries that
much.
Well,
that too. That.
Oh, by the way, I was watching the.
No, I mean like.
I was. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just because Foo, you were saying Foo doesn't care about what people say. I said, yeah, he's just like he's a jerk and he knows it. There's a scene in Goodfellas
I'm not a jerk.
No, there's a scene in Goodfellas. Remember, they're talking to the mom and they're telling that joke, and he goes, yeah, he's a jerk and he doesn't mind it. That's Foo. Yeah, and that's what reminds me of the Morton Downey guy.
Yeah,
I just gotta say, I welcome the TKO thing. I think it's a good thing for boxing.
Well, there you go.
It's gonna be good.
Morton Downey Jr. was like the proto Jerry Springer. He laid the template and the foundation for what Jerry Springer ended up doing. I did want to say something about Foo's I think it was the last stream. I don't know how you found these people, Foo. I don't know. And I don't want to play it because people are going to, you're bullying, blah, blah, blah. But you found...
The one with the wig, huh?
It's not I guess technically we got to call her a woman, but Foo found a video of this dude showing you how to, like a martial artist, how to throw punches and kicks and all that. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, why is this guy wearing a wig? The wig is the least of it. The guy's actually got bolt-on tits. It's a woman or it's a guy?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's for sure. I can't say.
Well, okay, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
I say it wasn't born the sex that it is, that it thinks it is.
I'll be politically
That's what I
correct.
would
I'll be
think.
politically correct. I mean, her. There's a difference between sex and gender, right? So his sex is male, but his gender is female. Let's just put it that way. And I actually
gender's made up. So
I know, but I'm being politically correct here, so we don't. I'm in Canada. Remember, I'm in Canada. I'm not in New York here. But
I mean, what I say is, you know what I call it? I say, call me ma'am.
Come on, it.
I say it. I just say I'm not gonna say what it is. What's going on there?
Stop saying
but
it.
It reminds me of ma'am.
Exactly.
Go sir one more time.
No, I mean you could be politically correct. What's the correct Pornhub search for that?
TS.
It's a joke. I didn't really mean for you to answer it.
Well, I know all about it though. I know all about it. So you asked the right guy. Even if you were joking.
Sexy throws high kick.
Yeah, well, so I mean, this I don't know how Fu finds these people, these channels, but
it just throws it at me. It's weird. I don't know why, because I do all these different shows, so I search up a bunch of random crazy shit, and so it just throws me all this weird stuff. So since I watch a lot of like martial arts content or like boxing, it just throws everything at me. So I found that. I was like, what the hell's that?
Yeah, Fu. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. Just like nobody believes that. I don't know who Jesse Jane is, because earlier I butchered a quote. It was supposed to be Jesse James, and I said Jesse Jane, the porn star. So I'm going to say the same thing.
I didn't know that. I thought he was. Isn't that the guy from that motorcycle show?
Yeah, that's the weird thing. If you're looking for a good time on the internet and you Google Jesse Jane, and next thing you know, you got some fat hairy guy who works on motorcycles. It can be a little jarring.
Yeah, that's why I thought that's what he did. But that's the guy who went out with Kat Von D and Sandra Bullock.
Right, he cheated on Sandra Bullock for that tattooed girl, right?
Kat Von D?
I think so. Anyway, this is starting to turn into TMZ. Yeah. What I was going to say was, so Food TV found that video of this dude. And then I started checking the guy's videos, and I'm thinking, okay, it's just a loner who's, a little confused, whatever. No, he's in a dojo, and there's people out, like, he's giving a lecture in a dojo, and there's people around him. I go, what? Or her, excuse me. I got to be politically correct. I go, what the fuck is going on? And he's got, doesn't he have
there's like an old guy that looked like the Fonz.
Doesn't he have like 90,000 subscribers or something?
Oh, he got a ton. Yeah. He got I think it was like approaching 200,000. But I got to give it to him. I mean, her.
you gotta give what? Whoa, give what? What are you gonna give?
He's got a lot of videos, man. He's got a lot. That dude has. That lady has over 2,000 videos. That's a lot of fucking videos. But I got 400 and something. I'm almost hitting 500. So what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean,
do I need breast implants? Is that what I need?
You need to get the implants. I think that's what the universe is telling you.
That's it, right? I won't change anything. I'll just go on. I'll put my camera up. I'll have like my beard and all that. And it's just some big ass tits.
In the chat, Hawker Mustang, Deontay.
Oh my God, Food. You look amazing.
I'm going to turn on your stream the next time, and all I'm going to hear is, so we got boxing coming up, and we got Deontay coming in. He's going to do an exclusive. It's like, oh boy, Food's really going for it. Real quick, Honker Mustang says,
thank you for inviting me, Foo.
I'm actually thinking of getting that guy on my show.
Do it, man. Do it. I don't have the balls to do it.
I made a music video for him.
Do it, man. I don't have the balls to do it here. I think, yeah.
I might do it. I'll let my wife conduct the interview.
There you go.
I'll do some of the interviewing. Yeah, she'll be better at it.
Or
and we'll talk about it. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. This is the thing. It's like, I mean, how did you feel when he said that his suit was too heavy and it made him lose this big fight?
Right.
Because I mean, maybe that hurt their business. I mean, they had outfits ready to go for Boots Ennis. I'm kidding. Maybe they did.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he canceled.
Hawker in the chat says he almost got booted out of a server for criticizing the LGBTQ. Hawker, I don't know what you're up to, man. Hawker, he's always going after people. For a while there, he was going after us on the Discord. But I mean, and again, Hawker, he's going after everybody now. But then again,
yeah, but when he says criticize, he means that he acts like it was light, you know, like it's he was just like, oh, yo, you're not a woman. He probably said a lot of really nasty things.
Well, I mean, Discord also they have to. These communities they have to abide by the rules and everything, because then if they don't, they could get shut down. So I'm not surprised they had to they had to kick him out. Iceman says Fu has a wide range
I know
of
that they do that. They censor the hell out of you for questioning any of that stuff. That's why I think it's funny. You see all these big like guys like Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro constantly saying this stuff, and they don't get removed.
Yeah, that's true. Huh? Some of them have inside deals, man. That's the other thing. Iceman says Fu has a wide range of interests. Yeah, he really does, man. That's no joke.
Oh yeah, I do.
Tu Matador wants Hawker to say the name. He wants him to reveal his sources. Now, I don't think Hawker's going to do that. I think, listen, there's a reason why Hawker's been around since before even YouTube started. I think as soon as YouTube started, he was one of the first people commenting. So he knows how to play the game. He's not going to go out there and get himself banned.
We think Hawker's a Fed, just FYI.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know, but I think he's just playing around. Sometimes it is difficult to know when he's playing around, but I mean, come on, a guy who's been around that long, I think he's just I think he just wants to have fun. But speaking of having fun, we've been here for almost 3 hours. Gotta go. Anything else we missed, guys? Frank, Fu, Bucho, anything else you guys want to say before we leave?
There's only a Nui's coming up, right? I mean, there's not much in the way of boxing, is there?
Very good. Paul. Yeah, very good.
There's that great Jake Paul fight that's on Friday.
How's it gonna end? This is my prediction. He's gonna quit in the corner.
Whoa!
Look, if he doesn't lay him out in one round, then the shit is set up. I mean, there shouldn't even be a feeling out round in that thing. He should just walk forward and just knock him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he should do. People are in the 3 knockdown rule. Steve Kim and Mario Lopez were saying that if he goes beyond 2 rounds, people are gonna look at it and they go, "Nah, something's up here. This fight's not on the level."
Oh yeah, sure. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't hit that dude with one hard punch. I think, you know what? Touch him up a little bit.
But I think that's what Bucho's saying. That I think he's gonna feel the power, and then he's gonna say, "Oh, I'm Deontay." No, he's gonna say, "I pulled my ankle" or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna go for.
No, I don't think. I think they have probably a deal, where AJ can't really knock him out. So, and then Jake will just run around the whole fight. What is it? Is it 8 rounds or
terrible on AJ? I mean, they want to sell us AJ versus Fury. How are they gonna do that if AJ is going 8 rounds with a fucking YouTuber?
Yeah, it doesn't even make any sense. If he's gonna fight Tyson Fury, why are you even doing this shit?
Well, we know why. He's getting a lot of money.
I know they want the payday, but it's not good for AJ.
It's not. I mean, he needs to knock him out.
One round. He put.
Well, would they allow Jake Paul to get knocked out like that? I don't think so.
I don't feel like they do. They want that, but maybe he's at his end. Maybe this is the end of that guy, because I think that Tank Davis fight was not selling. I think the jig is up with that guy. This is like the big last payday with him.
Could be.
You know what?
This is the last time they're going to be able to make anything.
Yeah, and this way he can retire by saying. Because listen, think about this though. They know this guy's not the real deal. He's not gonna win the cruiserweight championship or whatever. So might as well lose against a giant, and then we'll see. I gave him my best shot, but then lose against a top 15 cruiserweight, and then what? If he loses to a tough, it's gonna be like the Tommy Fury loss.
Oh, it's gonna get really bad for that guy if he has to go and fight anybody real.
Exactly.
Like he's gonna get knocked dead at some point. He keeps doing this. Now he's done some really careful cherry picking and fixed fights and whatever exhibitions. But if this shit is real, he could actually die. He could actually get killed. So, I think he'll do it for that big amount of money. I think the ref is. If this is real, then I think the ref's going to protect him for sure. They're going to be like, oh shit, like one big hard punch. They're like, okay, this needs to stop now.
You're right. Maybe they're going to blame it all on the referee, that he's going to step in extremely quickly. Jake Paul's gonna complain. I could have continued. The referee stepped in very fast. Blah blah blah. And then AJ, they both get their payday, and there's just the fight ends with a controversy, basically.
Yeah. Maybe he'll hit AJ like once or something. I mean, that kid's got a decent overhand. He's got a decent overhand. So not to say that he can knock AJ out, but if he was to throw a really, because he's going to be faster than AJ, I think he is. If he throws one of those overhands and clips AJ on the chin, I mean, he might actually hurt him slightly. I mean, this is why Tyson Fury is going to fight him, because he knows he's at the end of his career. That AJ's kind of shot at this point. I don't think he's way out there. You notice that? And now Tyson Fury's like, now I'll fight him, right? Perfect timing. Not to say that that's going to happen, that he's going to beat him. I don't think he'd be able to knock him out. But if he was to catch one decent punch, I think he'd be completely satisfied with that, right? And then AJ would probably lay him out. But that's a moral win, and I think that's the time when the ref would jump in. Because I don't think, if that's real, I think Jake is going to be on that bike heavy. He's going to be running all over the place. So I think his plan is he's going to try to catch him like Dubois. Except he's not Dubois, obviously. He's not even close to that level. But I don't know what's going to happen in there. I tend to think that it's completely fixed, and then AJ's just going to take it easy on him.
I mean, let's say he dies or gets seriously injured, because I don't die. But let's say he gets seriously injured. Could the Florida State Athletic Commission get into trouble for actually sanctioning this fight?
I think they should, because this guy shouldn't be fighting that guy. That dude really shouldn't even be ranked at all. Like, how is he ranked? He beat Chavez Jr. straight out of rehab.
You know what?
Dude literally just came out of rehab.
Hopefully we got something to. We find something happens in the news, or we get a special guest or something. Because is that what we're going to be talking about this week? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. I mean, I got to tell you, this how long can we stretch this for? You know what I mean? I'm a little dubious of how we're going to pull this off.
It's this Friday. It's this Friday.
Right. We're going to try.
Yeah, it's not on Saturday.
We're going to give it a good old go, as they say in England. But it is an intriguing fight. I'm intrigued. I'm disappointed that the undercard is very thin, but I am intrigued to see what the heck is going to happen in the main event. But speaking of main events, though, in case anybody's curious, because somebody brought up, I think it was Frank who asked what's coming up in the boxing schedule. We still have a little boxing before the end of the year. This Wednesday, we got Tim Tszyu taking on Anthony Velasquez, and Velasquez is undefeated, and he's a bit of a hard puncher. Already, there's drama. I've heard something about Velasquez's team. They're accusing Tszyu's team of sabotage or something to do with airplanes or whatever. So it should be interesting, and it should be interesting to see if Tim Tszyu can bounce back, because I was surprised that he quit against Fundora. Also on the undercard, Sam Goodman, who people forget. I was forgetting myself that I thought he beat Nick Ball. Again, I'd have to rewatch the fight, but he's going to be fighting on the undercard on a Wednesday of all days. I don't know what they're doing over there in Australia. Again, Australia.
That's shocking that he's coming back that quick. Tim Tszyu, like the beating he took in that last fight was legendary. Like he took a crazy beating.
But that was in July, I believe. So it's been a while.
And for a beating like that, I thought he was going to be off for at least a year. This guy fights more often than Crawford.
That's true. I guess we'll see what happens. You're right, though. Yeah, it could. I don't know. I'm curious, man. I'm curious to see what happens with that one. Also, December the 17th, which is a Friday. No, when's this? No, that's the same Wednesday. It's fucking people on the other side of the world do everything backwards. Anthony Olascuaga, La Princesa, I believe. That's his nickname. I'm not making it up. That's his actual nickname. Takes on Taku Kuwahara over in Japan, the Japanese. You got Koyuki Takami versus Rene Santiago for a WBA strap. And Senseiya Tutsumi taking on Nonito Donaire, believe it or not, for a strap.
He's back again. He's back, baby.
He's back and better than ever.
He's back.
I don't know how he got a talent. Again, everybody talking about, it's not old, it's just a WBC. Look at this, the WBC. How is he? Anyway, I don't want to get into it. But, so that's what we got. Then on Friday, no, excuse me, what am I talking about? I'm all over the place. Thursday, Pro Box is back. They put on some great fights, and they've got the return of Ramon Cardenas, who I think he was supposed to fight this past Saturday. I don't know, 2 weeks earlier they changed it up or something, but now he's going to be fighting in the main event of Pro Box, taking on Eric Robles Ayala, Herbert Conceição Sousa, taking on Paul Kroll, and Miquan Williams, or Miquan, I don't know how you pronounce it. He's the guy that got upset by Moran, who just recently lost to Tito Mercado. So quality fights at bargain prices for you guys, and it's free on YouTube. So go check it out. Pro Box, really a fight fans gift, really. And then, of course, December the 19th, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. That same day from Nigeria, we got Lawrence Okoli taking on TBA. We'll see who they can scrunch up. David Adley also taking on a TBA. So a whole bunch of TBAs over there in Nigeria. Women's boxing on the 22nd. Nigeria. December the 27th, that's the big last card of the year. Naoya Inoue versus David Picasso. I think Picasso's going to give it a good old go, but I don't know if he can beat Inoue at this point. Nakatani versus Sebastian Hernandez, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. Kenshiro Teraji on the comeback trail against Willibaldo Garcia Perez. And then the new year starts. So that's what we got. We're working on
the new year, the first big one is what? The Teofimo?
Actually, no, I think it's, hold on, Matias versus Dalton Smith on the second week of January. That's a good one. Pay-per-view for some reason. Pay-per-view for some reason.
Pay-per-view.
And I've commissioned I've commissioned a schedule from Bucho, a calendar, so we can put it on the community section. So, because it's one thing to read these things to people, but we really want them to be able to see in a calendar format the fights that are going to be taking place. Because sometimes people forget, like, but there's nothing going on right now. No, believe me, there's plenty going on right now. Mark T in the chat says Rachel is getting her 15%. Yeah, I mean, Rachel down there, his manager, right? She manages him or something. And so I don't know.
And she coaches him. She's a second hand
strength and conditioning coach. Yeah, she's the bucket girl too.
She does it all. I ain't paying nobody else. Fuck that.
Did she tie him to the ceiling and beat him up? Like punch him in his face?
What the fuck are you talking about, man? Come on. I mean, there's a comment here
that what's that guy? Diego Sanchez, I think his name was. Remember his coach hung him from the ceiling upside down and punched him in the face.
Oh, I thought you were
turned him into a human punching bag.
I thought you said from the neck, like some sort of erotic asphyxiation type thing.
No, not from the neck. Okay. And you can't. That's not a good way to train for a fight. They strangle you.
Yeah, exactly. That is fucking weird, man. That is fucking strange. All right, well, listen. We gotta go. We've said it all. On that note, yeah, we gotta go. Don't forget to check out Frank Bay's channel, the Frank Bay. I think you should change the name of your channel, Frank Bay, to the Frank Bay World, or something like that.
The Frank Bay World.
Yeah, and then you put your face on there, but you stretch it out around the planet, so it looks like the planet has your face. So the Frank Bay World.
Okay.
Of course,
nice.
I will consider that.
I'm not saying it's like the greatest idea, but I'm giving you ideas. Food TV.
Cool.
That's cool, yeah. Oh, by the way, Shazar wants the link to your channel. Hold on, let me put it up here. And don't forget to check out the real Food TV. I mean, really, that Doom thing really pissed me off, man. The Shakur Stevenson Doom simulation, because I wanted to be on the inside scoop for that one, and I want to play that one. I still want to play it. It's very realistic.
Yeah, they're working on a different game. I'll be putting that out soon. Yeah, the guy's got a lot of games coming out, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, when you're boxing's hottest star, or when you're part of the establishment, you get all the perks. So here it is.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a playthrough if you want. Got to be a playthrough of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of achievements in that one.
I posted the link there for Frank Bay's channel in the chat, and I'm putting it up on the screen. And then we got, of course, the real Food TV. Is there there is another Food TV, right? There's like 15 other Food TVs.
I saw a guy on there that's Food TV, and all he does is talk about soccer. I'm like, what the F?
It's got the fucking PlayStation logo there, but it says Food TV. So yeah, that's the real Food TV right there. Go check it. I highly recommend Food TV's streams. He does it for a long time. He loves you a long time, and he puts a lot of production. Frank they're good too, but they're just not long enough. He's always got the masseuse coming over. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta go, at the last minute. So
yeah, man, I gotta get laid first.
That's what I'm saying.
Comes first.
But it is quality over quantity sometimes
yeah.
with Frank. So you gotta give. It's not. I'm not. Go check it out though. They're good shows, and
thank you.
He cuts through the BS too. He calls it like he sees it. He might not. You might not always agree with him, but he at least he's being honest with you. He's not bullshitting you. All right, listen. We do have to go. With that being said, shout out to everybody who called in, everybody who joined us here on this platform. Shout out to some rando who says the masseuse with the happy ending. Well, I mean, why else would you get a masseuse? Rafael Garza, shout out to Rafael Garza, says just subscribe to Future and Frank. Food TV, he means. Yeah, I don't know why he says Future. Yeah, Food TV. Shout out to Shazar, the Iceman, Mark T, Ralph Unreal, Skull Kid, 254, Pancho Villa, Lil Mac Tyson, Punch Out, some rando, Hawker Mustang, the aforementioned Hawker Mustang, Tanado. I don't know how you pronounce that. Tanado, I guess. Who else was here? Miso Dionysian, Ezekiel Lopez, Grim Reaper. If I forgot anybody's